Okay. I think we are live. Double check here. All right, and we are. So, what is going on, my specialist SPC here? And yes, welcome back to the Midwest Cantina podcast. Guys, today I have got my very first guest. I've been subbed to his channel for a number of years. We usually have pretty good discussions, so that is why I wanted him to come here onto the channel today just to have some fun, discuss some video games, and have some laughs and just have a good time. So, everybody, please welcome DerechoGaming.
I'm ready for a good time. It's good to be here. Thank you.
And this is actually, I was even just saying this because we've been talking for like 15 minutes before we started here. This is our first time actually like talking to one another, so it's pretty cool to finally do this.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit overdue because you've been watching the channel, I know, for goodness, a couple of years now.
Yeah, I think it's either been 3 or getting close to 3, somewhere around there.
Yeah, well, man, it's good to finally be talking to you for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I always enjoy our little chats in your chat when we have live streams. So
yeah, I'll be live on my channel and I'll look at the chat and see you and I'm like, oh, it's SPC. And then we'll be talking about games and I'm like, man, we really need to converse in real life,
Yep, here we finally are, and I'll definitely probably be having you back a few more times. So,
oh, that's right. Anytime, my friend, I'm gonna be here.
And guys, I also linked Evan. His real name's Evan. I linked his channel down in the description below. Make sure you guys head on over, subscribe, check out his channel. He's so much fun to watch. He's got great content. So make sure you guys let him know that FPC sent you over. So, all right, guys. So, guys, today's topic, as I said, we are going to be discussing video games, and we've got a wide variety of topics to go over. So, I guess let's just hop on into this podcast, man. So, Evan, what got you into video games?
Man, it's the weirdest story, but I'm just going to hop right into it because here's the thing. So, my mom, she had a Nintendo 64 and she played it throughout the 90s, and then I was born shortly after. And when I was around 4 or 5, I ran into it. It was sitting under the TV. I plugged it in, and from there, I can tell you I've fallen in love with video games. I mean, man, I started playing Super Mario 64, like I said, at least 5 years old. And from that point on, I've just been interested in characters, the series. Everything's been great. And so I'm glad to say, I got into it early,
So Nintendo's what got you first into gaming?
Nintendo's responsible. They've done it, man.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it was with me. Yeah, we had I guess my cousins, they had a N64, and I believe they were playing, I'm pretty sure it was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, and I remember watching them because I used to grow up watching the Turtles, so I saw them playing a game, and
Yeah.
I was hooked. And then after that, the Super Nintendo came out, and I started playing probably one of my favorite games of all time, Donkey Kong Country on there, Wheel of Fortune,
Ooh.
and I could go on. I played Aladdin, Lion King, Duck Hunt, one of the classic video games ever made.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, it's just really interesting because, like, in my case, because what irritates me, I'm going to tell you now, I'm jealous because you went, consistent with the times. I literally started backwards. Like, literally, I was playing Super Mario 64 like 10 years after it came out, and then I had to catch up almost to more modern consoles. Well, I guess to say the next thing I played after that was the Nintendo DS, which was around, what was that, man, 06?
Yeah, 05, 06, somewhere around there. The Game Boy Advance was unfortunately dead. That was my go-to system, Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, but part of me is happy to say that I started with a good classic game, because if I hadn't played that, I wouldn't have been familiar with the new Mario games that came out on DS. And then when the DS came out, that's when I started to branch out with new titles, other stuff other than Mario. But yeah, Nintendo and Mario, man, I think that's what really, really got me into the games.
Yeah, I can definitely say, even though I am a PlayStation guy, I'm a diehard PlayStation guy, I do still have a
Yeah.
soft spot for the Nintendo, because it's kind of sad how you grow up with a certain system or even with a certain company, I guess, in a sense, like Nintendo, and now I like have nothing to do with Nintendo because it's just, I mean, they have fun games. Like they got Mario Kart 8, and oh, I love that game. It's so fun.
Oh, yeah.
You definitely rage when you lose, that's for sure. But oh,
Well, it's interesting you said that you were a PlayStation guy because, obviously, if anyone watches the channel, and I know you do, all I've been playing on is the PlayStation, but I actually never played on the Vita or the handheld one. That's the Vita, yes.
yeah, there was the PSP that came out first, and then they moved to the PS Vita like 4 or 5 years later, something like that.
Yeah, I got a PS3 in like 2014 or 15, and then like the next year I got the PS4. So I guess you can say I'm a little late on that. But then when I go on YouTube and I look up PS2 gameplay, everything looks fantastic. So I guess I can say, I'm strictly on that boat too, because nowadays Nintendo, the stuff they're doing are good graphically, but I'm kind of on the same boat as you, man. It's just a little bit different. I guess I'm more of a, nostalgia freak. So.
Well, like I feel like now that we're older, I feel like Nintendo's kind of more for like not dissing anything here, but more like the kids kind of like system.
Anything for the kids, And listen, Splatoon, it looks fun, but I don't know. I'm not really into it.
Dude, it looks like they tried to like animate Hey Arnold, because like the main girl looks like Helga from Hey Arnold to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I grew up with the N64, moved up to the Super Nintendo, and then I got my very first PlayStation, and man, I played that thing for years, and I mean years. Like
Right.
I'd say a good 6-7 years till I finally got my first PlayStation 2.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Like, what I like about what PS is doing now is they're actually giving us time to enjoy the consoles because, PS3 came out years ago, 2020, which is the date of this podcast, is when they're going to be releasing number 5, and they've given us plenty of time to enjoy the next-gen games. And, there is also a big gap between the 2 and the 3. So I'm glad they're not pumping them out at us, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, we still got time for this year at least to be playing some good games. There's still plenty of good games coming out for the system this year, so
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, nowadays with cross-platform and such, I mean, I'm sure they're going to find a way to incorporate what we've been doing for the past few years on the 4 and let us do it on the 5. I hope, because I've worked a lot on these games, man. So to have a clean slate almost breaks my heart a little. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So,
I've put lots of hours into my games. Like I looked for the heck of it the other day, and Battlefront 2015, I put in almost like 200 hours of gameplay into that.
Yeah, I love looking at the stats, man. I mean, listen, it makes me feel like a loser, but when you really think about it, I'm working, okay? I'm working hard on these games. So when I see that I have like 400 plus hours, I'm like, you know what? An average person wouldn't have been able to do it, so it's fine. It's fine.
Exactly. We're making up for everybody else who doesn't get to play.
Exactly. See that they work hard on these games. I'm gonna give them what they're worth. So.
Well, and there have been some absolutely fantastic games that have come out over the years. I mean, like we just talked about Battlefront. I know a lot of people had problems with Battlefront. I think it was a good game. Yeah, Battlefront 2. I can't believe I'm even saying this, but there have been a couple of good Call of Duty games that have come out. That's that's another topic we're going to be talking about later, and we're probably going to
We
go
will
on.
definitely be discussing that because there's a lot to be said. But the thing about Battlefront, and I don't want this to sound, extremely melodramatic, but that's the kind of game that kind of changed my life per se because, like I said, I was doing a lot of Nintendo handheld. I was playing plenty of GTA when I finally got a PlayStation. But when Battlefront came out, it really changed the way I viewed the console. It made me start my channel. I mean, I just was dying for other people to even watch me play it, because I needed attention. So Battlefront 2 came out, and I was like, I'm going to get people to watch me play that too. But Battlefront 2, it's probably because I was so fixated on Battlefront 1. But Battlefront 2 is just not really my go-to game. Graphically, it was really cool, but I haven't really been playing it as much as I should.
Yeah, I haven't touched it very much here in probably the last 4 or 5 months. I know they just recently did an update, and now they got BB-8 and BB-9E right now as heroes in the game.
Yeah, well, to believe that BB-8 is worth 100 gigs, oof, I literally can't get it on my PS4 because it's a huge update. And that's fine. I'm glad that they've done some good stuff to it, but, it'd be nice to see it.
Well, I mean, even with Battlefront, it's been so like hit and miss lately. Like the first Battlefront, I never had any problems with it. I loved all the content they pumped into it. I loved the heroes. Like everything about the game was damn near perfect. And then we got to Battlefront 2, and there were just glitches and bugs and just problem after
Right.
problem after problem. It had such a rocky start, but now you look at it, I think when it first got reviewed, from what I saw, I think IGN rated it like a 4 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I think right now it's like an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, it is, and it's a hit or miss for all of these games because the fact that they're online, when they pump it out to us, it really could be malfunctioning. And then people get mad and they start, signing petitions, oh, boycott this game. And then it takes the studio time to fix it or patch it. And then by the time they've done that, I'm like, well, man, I've already deleted the game. People don't want me to stream it. And I'm like, and then don't even get me started on the money. I mean, these microtransactions that they'll push at you at first, the fact that we, as the consumer, have to come out and be like, we really don't want to pay for that. It kind of just makes it overcomplicates everything to me. So like when you talk about like the old DS games and stuff like that and the Nintendo 64, you never once had to worry about like, oh man, I hate that they had to fix that. It just came out perfect,
Yeah, exactly. It's back when everything was just simple. Everything was just basically story. Like, just go through the story. You don't need to go play online, do all these massive different things to get achievements. It's just play the game just to play the game.
And the funny part is when there was bugs, because every game has had bugs ever since they started making video games, they were badass. If you go back and look at old console bugs, they're hilarious and they're actually really fun to do. Now it's like the biggest bug that can happen is you can't move in a game or like you get stuck in a wall and it's like that's unacceptable.
Exactly, especially if you're playing like online and you're like on a good kill streak and then all of a sudden boom, that bug hits, you're just stuck there, you finally get unglitched and you get knifed. It's like,
it's funny, yeah, you brought that up because I don't know if you were there for this one. You might have popped in. I was playing Paladins and literally I was doing great. For once, I was doing fantastic, and literally the game freezes like crazy, but the stream's still going. So I'm like, I don't think they realize how much this just screwed me over because you have to start the stream over. You have to be upset that your kill streak just got shat on. It's like, oh man, this is ridiculous, So
well, it's just such a like kick to the stomach because I remember I watched that stream and you were like, all right guys, I don't know what's going on, and you restarted and it's almost like it got worse when you restarted the game. It's like, Whoa.
Yeah, it did. And the thing is like, as a streamer, I'm not really like particular about how it turns out. I mean, I want to give the best content that I can, but I really don't want my streams to be in two parts. I just personally prefer it to be one whole stream. So when I realized, okay, I've got to stop the stream now, I was like, these people, they're gonna want me to start up again, and I did, because I want to, entertain everybody, but it just completely throws off your groove, and so it almost makes you want to just, forget it.
Yeah,
So
because that's what happened when back to Battlefront 2, because I did the campaign. I did it during live streams, and part one is literally in like 4 different parts because I went good for almost an hour. And then like they were like 15-minute intervals. Finally, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna record it and just get it up there.
yeah, and and I tried to stream a campaign of a video game once. I can't remember what it was, but let me tell you one thing, man. That was one of the hardest things ever, because if I didn't know what I was doing, it was just an awkward sit down with me in the chat, and they would have to be like, "No, Evan, you're doing it wrong," and I'm like, "Okay." So from that point on, I've kind of just been pre-recording campaign gameplays.
Well, and I even had the same problem recently, a couple months ago when Jedi Fallen Order came out. Like, I had a couple
Right.
of streams, they went so well, just almost perfect. And then you have
Hmm.
certain streams and it's just choppy, 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 cuts the stream out, and then it's like, oh God, no, I gotta go back and do it again.
No, it's literally a slap in the face, especially because like a lot of people don't know this. But like, for example, live streaming, this very podcast. I mean, if you're on a roll, you're on a roll, and if something stops it, it's like, well, man, I'm almost too upset to start it over.
That's
So
basically what happened to me with Battlefront when I had to like restart the stream for like the 3rd time. I was just cussing and screaming the whole time while I'm starting it back. I'm like, just fucking God.
I know, and what happens to me, this is how bad my luck is. I'll have like more than 20 viewers, and that happens. But when I have like 4, including me, it's like, ooh, perfect internet today, and I'm like, oh, what? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's weird because like you want to get the viewers, but it's like you need to have like that super highly graded internet to like get anything going.
Yeah, and when the stream stops and you start it back up, you're not going to get everybody back. I mean, you might get your moderator, you might get a couple of people that were really having a good time, but most people are like, oh, Evan's dead, we'll just watch him next time, and they leave. And I'm like, oh no, guys, please don't leave.
I love
I
you
have
all,
feelings.
please.
Yeah, that's how it feels.
Yeah, that's happened to me even a few times. I remember me and one of my buddies, we were streaming Battlefield 1, and I was doing so good. I was getting on kill streaks and he was doing good and everything was fine, and then all of a sudden just boom, it just cut me out. I froze, nothing happened. Tried starting it up
Yeah.
again, and I'm like, okay, all right, that's enough for me for the night now.
Yeah, no, it's a bummer for sure. There's no doubt about that.
Because
So,
that's one of like the 2 biggest problems for me when I'm playing online games. Because like I don't even play online much anymore. I've been playing more like can't or campaign based games like Fallen
yeah,
Order, like Spider-Man. I just downloaded all the BioShocks. I want to play those. I'm playing Detroit Become Human. I mean, I'm playing all these campaign based games because I don't know if it's just I don't know. I'm just losing
oh,
interest in playing online or what it exactly
right.
is, but it's
Well,
like,
we've talked about this prior to recording the podcast. Online communities. I love playing with my friends. I love my friends, but you can really get yourself into some weird, peculiar situations with people you've never even met before. People either judging the way you play or they yell at you, and it's like it can really ruin a whole game.
mm-hmm.
And so, you've got to watch out what you pick, and you've got to, fortunately, I mean, I know that you can mute people, but I mean, it would be cool if, you could just find the most pure, perfect community ever,
Exactly. Like you get all them just toxic people, and like again, we're gonna talk about this here in a little bit. Call of Duty. Like you kill somebody, they get pissed. They sit there and call you
Yeah.
names, say they're gonna do this to your mom and this to your grandma, and it's like, dude, it's a game. Like you paid $60 for this online game just to like play and have fun, not just sit here and complain. Like, come on, like we're just having fun here.
And then I think back and I remember you saying that you used to watch your friends play the old console. Literally campaigns back to when I was little. I would stay up all night by myself just playing these games and beating these stories and just moving on and moving forward. And there was absolutely the only reason that would make me get off the game is I was tired. But these games now online, I could get cussed out of the game, and that's not fun. So it's a rough thing.
Well, that's again why I think I've been wanting to play more campaign-based games, because it's like, even if I mess up, I can just start that over and just redo it and not have to be judged. Or if I kill this guy a certain way and kill another guy a certain way, nobody can tell me I did it wrong because I'm just doing it my way.
And the best part is even if people say you are live and they see you do it wrong, they're not gonna make fun of you because they know it's part of the fun. You're not supposed to complete a campaign in just one try, So I think that's a good thing. I think people know that campaigns could take teamwork and that it's all part of the fun. But yeah, man, you're definitely right. And online, it's like you're a little fish in a big ocean,
Amen on that.
It's crazy.
But I mean, like even if you played like an online campaign game, you're like able to play with friends or even newer people you meet, that wouldn't be so bad. But if you're playing with complete strangers and they're just telling you you're messing up, it's like, well, why do I even play?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know. It's like people believe mentally that they were born to play this game. This is what they were born to do. And if anybody from any other state or country comes in and messes it up, it's like it's the end of their world. And I'm like, look, don't play co-op if you don't think I'm going to be good or you can't cooperate with bad players. So, it's like you said, sometimes playing co-op campaigns with friends is probably just the best option,
Oh yeah, because I mean there are campaign online games you can play with people, but I mean it's just lately it's like video gaming is more just online. Like people don't buy the games anymore for the campaign; they just buy it to play online.
Oh, literally every game I have installed right now on the PS4, it's online, and they all have campaigns. But man, I haven't even opened the campaign. And like, it's not that I'm not interested. I just really the competitiveness of the online gets me distracted, and I'm like, well, I'll do the campaign later, and I just never do. So I think that's another thing. I think, and we talked about this before on my channel. Should campaigns of a video game be released separately than the multiplayer? And I think that would be cool because honestly, every time I go into a multiplayer game and I see campaign on the menu, I really don't think about clicking it. But if it was another game I took time to install, it would probably make me want to play it.
Oh, exactly. Like they should sell, like especially Call of Duty, they should sell maybe the campaign for like $20. And then just separately sell the rest of it for 40, like just the online stuff, and you get zombies and all that stuff on it.
Well, what irritates me most nowadays, and I know we're going to talk about the game particularly later on in the podcast, but the thing is those campaigns now on Call of Duty are exceptionally short. My friend, he goes, "Oh, I just beat it in an hour." I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what's the $60 for then? Because I assume 55 of it's for the multiplayer. If you only have like a 1 hour campaign, because those old games we were talking about, they would take weeks and weeks,
Oh, yeah. I remember playing the campaign for it was either Call of Duty 2 or it was World War II or World at War. And yeah, I put weeks, and I mean weeks into beating that game.
Right.
Even a game Killzone. That's one of my favorite games from the PlayStation 2. Man, I put so much work and so many hours into beating that game. I played the same missions literally like days.
Yeah, see, that's a good campaign. If you can just do it over and over and not have a problem with it. A recent game that did that so perfectly, it's somewhat recent, I guess. Uncharted. I mean, I could play that all night, and when I messed up, I was like, let's go again.
Exactly.
You know.
Like I even remember playing. Oh man, I say I remember what I was playing, and I don't remember what I was playing.
That game from back in the day.
that game. Oh, the first God of War, man, and the
Ooh.
first like 2-3 God of Wars, man. I would go rent those games from Blockbuster. They have Blockbuster when it was still around. Did anybody remember Blockbuster? It's ancient history now. It's part of history.
What's Blockbuster? No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God, no. Yeah, I remember going to Blockbuster almost every weekend, re-renting God of War because I had it saved on my memory card. I'd go re-rent the game and I'd play it just all weekend long.
Yeah.
Man, that first God of War, oh my God, I couldn't even tell you how long that took me to beat.
Yeah, but the thing is when you finally do it, there's no better feeling than like, oh, and even and they always throw some bonus shit at you, like, oh, you thought you finished the game, but there's this, and then you have to finish that. But once that's done, I mean, it's a big relief.
Yeah, or like nowadays like back then you just play and you're finally like, oh, you just have that good just sigh of relief, like, oh, finally. Nowadays, you throw your remote on the ground. You're like, yeah, get some, bitch. I beat your ass. Oh, yeah. Again, gaming is so different from even like 10 years ago. Like, oh, beating a campaign is like the biggest relief now.
Oh yeah, well, cause it literally, it's like pulling teeth, man. Dear God, I can't get halfway through a campaign without being all right. And that's the thing. That's where they make a mistake. I can go, okay, I'm just gonna go play multiplayer now, and that's why I think they should put campaigns separately. Because if you're not gonna get the campaign and you're not gonna play it, why should I have to wait for it to install? Because when I installed Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I thought that's what they were doing because they were downloading separately. I was like, yay, my campaign's going to be on a separate spot and I can uninstall it because I'm not going to play it.
Mm-hmm.
And, but no, they all came in together and I was like, if they really want people, they should, make the campaign different for people that actually want to take the time to play it. You know what I mean?
There is only one human being on the face of this planet that I know buys any Call of Duty games for the campaign. That's my buddy Ethan.
Well, like, Ethan, you are one of a kind, man, because, listen, I've seen gameplay. It looks very fun. But, that's what I'm saying. For the Ethans of the world, we need separate campaigns. I'm telling you, it'd be a very good idea.
Well, and I look at it this way. I mean, the campaign's probably not going to sell as well, but you're still going to get all them gamers who are going to buy the online multiplayer, and you're still going to make your money.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, and, there's always profit to be made with these games nowadays. And, I mean, the fact that we can both look at each other and say, oh, yeah, the new game, it's going to be $60. It's how it is every time. Millions of people spend $60 on it. I think they should be able to separate it.
Yeah, I mean, again, like a huge gaming franchise like that. Yeah, you should be able to sell them all separately, or even just take the opportunity and just make like a straight up just Call of Duty online, like just like Battlefront 2015. Make a game strictly just like that. Don't make campaign. Make it all online or the other way around or whatever.
And that's what made streaming Battlefront so fun, because I wouldn't have people like I do now, in the comments in the chat going, "Oh, why haven't you played the campaign yet? Please stream the campaign." And I'll do what people want me to do on the channel. I want to make everyone happy, but really, if Battlefront 1 had a campaign, you wouldn't be seeing me play it. So the fact that that was just off my shoulders made it really easy for me.
Well, and it was something different because, again, I've been used to playing online multiplayer games, and they have a campaign alongside it. But yeah,
Right.
Battlefront 2015, they just took the chance. They're like, yeah, we're not going to do that. Let's just do our own thing. Let's just make this strictly online and do whatever.
Yeah, everyone was like, "Oh, but Evan, where's the campaign?" I'm like, "Hell no, there's no campaign, so sit back and watch me go off because I'm not gonna do it. There's not any, But then, Battlefront 2 came out and they, you know, polluted it with a campaign, and then that's why I can't stream it much because everyone wants me to play that instead. And I don't listen. I know it probably sounds like I hate campaigns, but I really don't. Some of them don't really interest me that much. I feel like I could just watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I will willingly say it. I mean, I enjoyed the campaign of Battlefront 2. I actually thought it was pretty good, but again, I think we're just kind of in that time where like campaign games are just like for maybe the older players, kind of like me, kind of like Ethan. I think,
Yeah.
and I think some of like the younger-ish, like born maybe a little after like 2000, between there 2005 when online kind of slowly started coming in.
Right.
I think that's just more what people are more like used to.
Yeah, and that's fine. And here's the thing, I agree that the campaign was very good, but like I said earlier, you watching me stream a campaign is literally terrible. Because I'm naturally bad at campaigns. So if a bunch of people are watching and they're telling me I'm messing up, I'm like, oh no, time to buckle under pressure and cry. So I just, try to stream strictly multiplayer, but that's just me.
I mean, I mostly I'll do campaigns more for myself, and I just put it on the channel so I can maybe if I get bored someday and for whatever reason I want to watch myself, I can go back and
Yeah.
like look at maybe some mistakes because I definitely know that's how it was doing Jedi Fallen Order. Like a simple easy puzzle in that game, I would go
Right.
online and watch people would do it in 5 minutes, and it would take me like 30 minutes to figure it out. I'm like running back and forth, checking this, checking that, forcing this, forcing that, and I'm like, okay, I'll just look online and see what the hell I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then you get that realization when you watch them do it, and you're like, oh my God, I'm the biggest freaking idiot on this planet.
Yeah, watching yourself is a hard thing to do, especially if one, you don't like your own voice, two, you screwed something up very badly and everyone saw it, and it's just it can be a mess.
It
You
it,
know.
it really is like, even if like I make a video with like one of my buddies and I go back and watch it and I didn't even know he was recording and I'm sitting there watching it, and like one video in particular that's on his channel, and I don't know if he's watching, but Kellen, if you are, I hate you, but I love you because it's a freaking hilarious video. It's literally just 2.5 minutes of me just raging like hell playing Battlefront 2 with him and his buddy. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
raging.
Yeah, and that happens. And if anyone knows me best, I rage like crazy. And then I'll go back and look at it, and I'm like, did I just literally have 3 voice cracks in one sentence? Why did my face look like that? And like, so, but listen, I started a channel, so I kind of got myself into it. But like, that can be a problem if you don't like the look of rage faces and the sound of rage voices and
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, oh my God. Like you're sitting there. I even made my own rage video because I was playing with Ethan and we were playing Overwatch. And it was like right around the time this new hero came out, and I played her in one game, and I'm like, yep, I'm playing her every single game. I get over to her, she'd be taken, and I'd go click on the guy right next to him. I'd go too far, and I'm just literally screaming, no, like freak out, man. Like,
Yeah.
I can willingly say I never like talk trash when I play games, but I do rage. So I have had my own version of like toxicity when I'm playing games, but
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. We're going to sit here and talk about, oh, people are toxic. Yet I'll look back at one of my streams. I'm like, damn it, you bitch. What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. You know? It's like, oh. Especially, too, when you go back and you rewatch that same thing again, you just get pissed all over again. You're like, oh.
I know. You're supposed to watch it again and be like, man, I shouldn't have said that to my friend. But instead, you're like, dang, why did I throw that grenade there? Like, you know?
Oh, yeah, like playing Battlefront 2015, man, I made so many streams, and I rewatch some of them once in a while, and God, I love you, Travis, but you're so bad at playing video games. You're so bad. Like, I think one game he had maybe one kill and like 20 plus deaths, and I looked at him, I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. You either need to sell your PlayStation and go buy that freaking stickball game, like the Pong. Go play Pong. Start from the beginning, work your way back to Battlefront, come back, maybe we'll see how you do.
Yeah, listen, Travis, we need to start some kind of clan because I'm completely on the same page. My KD and any multiplayer game is garbage, so me and your friend are going to start the garbage clan, if that's okay, Austin.
Hey, man, I will support you guys 100%.
The emblem is going to be a garbage can with a piece of paper in it. And yeah, because listen, like, that's the thing, though. Like, I'll be bad, and I'm okay with being bad. But then all these people gang up on me, telling me to delete the game. And I'm like, leave me alone. I have feelings.
It's like, man, I might be sucking so much ass right now, but I'm having so much fun because I'm the same way. Like, it took me like a year to playing like online games to kind of somewhat get better. Like, I played Call of Duty. I think my first online game, like playing online without using anybody's system or whatever, was Black Ops 2. And oh my God.
A classic.
Like my dad would sit there and watch me play, and he's like, he used to be in the military, so he's like telling me like how to do all these military things in the game. And I look at him, I'm like, Dad, this is nothing like the military. And he sat there and he watched the full game, and he looked at me, he's like, oh, well, I'll be damned. And he turned around.
What do you mean you want me to watch my six, Dad? I don't know what you're talking about.
He's like, oh, follow your teammates, go with them. So I would follow them, and then I'd watch them all get massacred, and I'm trying to turn around and run, and then I get killed. And I look at him, I'm like, oh, you follow the team, huh, Dad?
Yeah, that's funny.
And then, oh, I will never forget this. Him and my sister, I had made her own little account on PlayStation. Watching her and my dad play 2 rounds of online Call of Duty was one of the single greatest but most cringeworthy things I've ever seen and witnessed in my entire freaking life.
Did they goof?
Dude, they were so bad. So bad. I let my dad play under me. I don't think he got a single kill. I think like 4 or 5 times in a row he spawned in. He'd take 4 or 5 steps and get killed.
Oh, no.
Classic Call of Duty. And he handed me the remote. He's like, well, this is a dog shit game. I'm like, thanks, Dad.
Well, guess what, Dad? I love it. So back off.
I'm happy. This is fun. We're having fun.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Oh, man. See, we're not even playing online. We're talking online and just talking about games. And I'm getting rage just thinking about this stuff.
We are going to have to move on. I can't have you raging out here. I don't want you heated on your podcast, buddy.
Oh, my God.
By the time it's over, you're going to be steaming.
I'm already like getting.
You're gonna be like,
drink water to like cool myself off, rubbing my ears. Oosa,
yeah,
ooh.
drink you some water, take a cold shower, you know.
Oh, okay, we're good. Anyway, back on to other topics now. Let's stay away from Call of Duty for a little bit because I think that's where like the rage really started.
Exactly, it makes sense.
So, I guess the next thing we can talk about, we're kind of really jumping around. We're not really going in order, which I'm perfectly fine with. We're just sitting here BS and talking. But
I've lived my life out of order. I'm ready. Let's go.
I don't know how to respond to that. Good for you, buddy.
I was referring to earlier on how I started playing games that were older. Okay.
Oh, like that. Oh, I thought you meant like,
No,
I came out, I was like 95, and then the next day I was like 12, and then I jumped into my 30s. Like, oh man, wow.
Well,
I
have my senior moments. I do. I'll forget what day it is, but anyhow, you know.
Yeah. So I guess the next thing, I think you and I are on the same page with this next one. What is your most anticipated video game for 2020?
Well, I know we were talking about Resident Evil, but to be honest, I might have changed my mind a little bit, my friend. I hope you're not upset with me.
I mean, I'm not like, it's weird because like the first ever Resident Evil I ever played was Resident Evil 4, and that was back in like, oh man, 2008 when I bought it because I just saw it on sale at Walmart. So I'm like, okay, I'll buy it. I've never played it. I hear good things about it. And I got to one part, and I literally ran around in a circle and got killed by this big thing over and over and over again. I'm like, well, that was $20 wasted. And then I literally did not play a single Resident Evil game until Resident Evil 7 came out. Like, I saw the demo, and I played the demo. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I actually bought the game, and oh my god, it's such a good game. It easily top like 3 of like best games I've ever played of all time.
There we go. Well, look, it's a classic, man, so I'm definitely not surprised, and I enjoyed the game too. It's been a while since I've touched it, but I can tell you we are on the same page on that. And look, I'm very excited for the new one, but, and I don't want you to be, irritated. I feel like even some other viewers of the podcast might disagree with me, but your boy here is really looking forward to Doom Eternal. I am.
Oh, so, yeah. My buddy Ethan, he loves Doom. Like, Doom is probably one of his like favorite like series ever. He bought the new one.
Yeah.
And when he buys a new game, like I literally don't hear from him for like a month. And then randomly he'll call me and I'll be like, "Oh man, you must have beat the game. How was it?" You're funny, Austin.
Yeah.
And then he'll sit there and talk to me for like an hour. I'm like,
yeah, look, like I said, I've been living out of order, okay? And I'm telling you, I played the first ever Doom, which I believe came out in 93. I played that in 2012. And look, I mean, everyone's going to stumble around on it, but it ended up being one of my favorites. And then Doom 2's definitely my top 5 video games ever. And then, later on, 2016 rolls around. I just started the channel. And by the way, 2016 Doom was the very first stream I've ever done with a face cam. And it was awesome. Like, it was such a fun experience because we had been waiting on it for so long. It was going through that development hell. But I think they did a good job.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't actually play like the actual game itself yet. Like, I do want to play it.
Yeah.
My buddy Ethan's got it. I want to ask him if I can borrow it. Plus, they have it in VR, so that'd be, oh my god, that'd be insane to deal with in VR.
Ooh, well, yeah, that would be crazy. And also, earlier we were talking about, or I was saying, it'd be cool if campaign was separate. That's actually one of the few games. It's perfect the way it is, because when I'm done grinding on campaign, I'll hop off and do some multiplayer. I can evenly balance how much fun I'm having, and I think they just did a fantastic job. I recommend it, man. I really do.
See, because it's weird. I haven't played the actual game, but when the beta came out, I actually played the online beta, and I think I played a match, and I'm like, okay, that's enough for me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that was my first thought. I'm like, oh my god, now they made an online Doom game, and then I found out it's a campaign. I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is interesting.
It is. That's actually the perfect word to describe the campaign as a whole. It's interesting, and I bet that's really the series. Even the older ones, they've been real eccentric, but I love it. I mean, that's what I like about it. And Eternal, I really hope they don't screw it up. But what I can say, I mean, it's well. First of all, I think it's weird. We were talking about how Nintendo's for the kids. They're putting Eternal on the Switch, and I don't know about you. I do have a Switch, and I cannot imagine playing Doom on it.
Yeah, that's weird for me. Like,
Yeah.
it's weird that you actually brought up Doom because you played them out of order. I'm the same way with the Resident Evil games. Like, my first like real legitimate Resident Evil game I played was 4, and I never really got through it. So I really consider my actual first Resident Evil experience to be 7. And man, I played through that campaign 3 separate times. I literally just finished it again here like 2 weeks ago. I played it in the whole campaign in VR.
Yeah.
Holy hell. That is an experience in and of itself. Holy hell, dude. But it's still, oh my God, it's still so fun. And then, of course, last year I got the second one for my birthday. Me and Ethan, we were making videos, but our schedules just were so flip-flopped all the time. So finally, I'm just like, you know what? 3's coming out. I really just want to get through this game. So I played through that, and oh man, that's another good game.
Right.
And
Definitely, I agree.
I've never played 5, and I've never played 6, and I've watched gameplay and like cutscenes of it. And yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I think I'll just stay away from that. Like, I know right now they've got the remake of the original on sale on PlayStation for like $8, and I'm thinking about picking it up because I've never played the original Resident Evil. I've never played basically the first original 3 that ever came out. So don't feel bad, man.
Yeah.
I'm playing things out of order too. There's even still games I haven't even touched yet.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad you understand where I'm coming from now. Because at first you're like, "What the hell do you mean you're out of order?" But now, and even with Battlefront, I started playing 2015 Battlefront, and everyone was like, "Oh, you think that's fun? You should go play the old one." And then I played it on Steam, and I was like, "Oh, well, this is a blast." I feel like everything's coming to me in like different time. Like, I'll be playing something that just came out, and then next thing you know, I'm playing the original game from the 90s that I like even better. And then it's like, and then the sequel's coming out next year. And it's like, oh, goodness, there's so many big chronologies around here,
The original
It's wild.
Battlefront 2 is my first PlayStation 2 game I bought because I don't know why. Somebody bought me that for my birthday, and I still had the PS1. So I looked at my dad. I'm like, so, Dad, I can't really play this on here, so I kind of need the new system. And that's when, like literally, like the first week when the PS2 Slim came out.
Yeah.
Which is surprising because I still have that thing, and it still works. And man, that thing has hit floors and hit concrete, and that thing is still in hip top shape.
Congratulations. If I drop my Switch tomorrow, it's over. I mean, it'll be broken in half. I'm telling you. I can't even get the joysticks to work that well, honestly.
Well, and it's weird, like, it seems like the more and more the systems keep advancing, it's like, in a weird way, like the weaker and weaker they're getting. Because, like, that big, huge, like, old school PlayStation, the very first big one that came out, and you could probably go to a 20-story building and drop that thing, and you wouldn't even get a scratch on it.
Right.
Man. But yeah, no, I do know where you're coming from for like playing games out of order. Like, You're excited for Doom? Like I'm happy for you, man. I mean, I haven't seen any gameplays or any trailers or like anything for it. So I mean, I don't really know what to
Yeah,
expect.
I really, yeah, I've seen the poster. That's literally all I need to see. I'm like, dear God, this cannot fail. And at first, I was just a little skeptical. I was like, man, because Doom isn't for everybody. Any gamer knows that. I mean, you either think it's freaky and stupid, or a damn blast. So I'm glad you support me. It warms my heart, honestly. Like, thank you,
You're welcome.
because I'm very excited.
Well, like, because finally getting through 2, and then like literally 2 days later, they came out with the trailer for 3, and I saw it's taking place weirdly before, during, and after Resident Evil 2. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, 'cause you're gonna go back to the RPD and go around there, and you're gonna fight against Nemesis. And again,
Right.
never played the original games. Honestly, looking at gameplay and even watching their like version of cutscenes,
Mm-hmm.
I truly feel like I'm not missing out. I mean, maybe growing up playing it, I would have been a little more like invested. Where now I'm just like, my God, these games are amazing. Like, it's such a difference playing like Resident Evil 2 from last year, and then look.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, the advancements are almost scary, and especially knowing 2 years from now, we're gonna look back at the games that came out this year and be like, well, what was that? It's moving very quickly, and I think that we should almost be scared of it because, like, I mean, goodness, it's just very, very good graphically this year. So knowing that it's gonna get better, oof.
Well, I mean, think about it, like playing those old school like N64 games like you and I grew up playing. Like
Right.
back then we were like, wow, these are great. And then you get to like the PlayStation, you're like, oh, these are better. And every system they get better and better. And you like I'll do that randomly. I'll go back and play Battlefront 2 on my PlayStation 2 and I look at the graphics and I'm just my God, my heart just breaks. I'm like, ugh.
Even Battlefront 1, and I'm talking about 2015, I mean, I went back to it a few days ago just to look at it because I'm planning on streaming it soon. And I was like, oh my goodness, and here's the deal. The reason I fell in love with it to begin with is graphically, it was incredible. You could see every print of foot in the snow. The landscapes were gorgeous. And I was playing it a couple days ago, and it's still very good. There's no doubt about it. But I can tell how games have gotten better, even Battlefront 2 graphically. So I'm like, dang. And that was just what, I guess 4 to 5 years ago now. So,
Yeah.
oof. Oh, yeah. Big advancements, my friend.
Well,
big advancements.
It's even insane too how many people are like still playing Battlefront 2015. Like I logged in there a few weeks ago and I'm in shock how many people are still playing it.
No, I hopped in. I was like, it's a shame that people want me to stream this on the channel because no one's going to be playing it. Sure enough, I hop in a full game, 40 people. And I was like, wow. And I played a few more just like for old time's sake. It was packed. And I was like, this is great. Loyalty is great with that game. I'll tell you that much. And that's good. That means we can still play it and have fun.
Well, exactly. And the thing about that compared to like Battlefront 2 right now, I mean, you can play just single games with like your friends. You can play with like a group of your friends, just play your own matches, play hero versus villains and whatever else you want to play. Like that's fun. Like even just playing with your friends, just being like, okay, how can we like better ourselves or like even help your friends out or whatever.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a good time. I mean, it's definitely not a bad time. And I know that we were talking earlier about online, and I know we're going to talk a little bit about communities later, about how they might not be too, compatible. But I can say that we will look back at these days years from now and be proud of the games we got to play because they're fun. And there's plenty of good stuff that we've gotten to make memories with, on YouTube, and even for our private time. I play a lot of games, actually. People think I only play the games that are on the channel, but no, I love to sit back and play some Spider-Man and do a lot of different things. And so, yeah, I'm definitely not one of those people that are like, oh, God, video games are trash now. I'm like, whatever, whatever.
Well, exactly. I'm the same way. Like, I have my certain games I'll stream, and then I've got like my own games that I just play by myself with. Like, again, like Resident Evil 2, like just playing that for the heck of it. And like, I'm replaying through Spider-Man on like the hardest difficulty. And yeah, it's weird too, because like over the years, I would just play games and not even like worry about it. But like, I'm slowly turning into like a completionist. Like,
Ooh.
I'm hell bent on platinuming Spider-Man. Like, that's how much I love this freaking game.
It's fantastic. And I know this. I don't know if you've ever been. I have quite a bit of family in New York, and when you're there, literally when you play Spider-Man, it is identical. It's almost scary that they've managed to create an open world. And that's what I'm trying to say. How could people say video games are in a bad spot? They literally took actually the biggest city in the country and literally duplicated it to a T. It's literally scary. The open world's great. Same with GTA. I mean, listen, games can't be in a bad spot if you can take a whole city or even a state and make an open world out of it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's going to be flops, but I think that's the thing that really gets, like with you, like I guess it was the same with me, like Battlefront 2015, like the graphics are gorgeous, and you see gameplay of Spider-Man, and then when you actually get into the game and you start playing and swinging, and even like the farther along like the day actually goes, like the sun's going down, and it's just so gorgeous. Like,
oh yeah, I mean, it's smooth as silk, crystal clear. I mean, there's nothing to complain about that. I mean, if Spider-Man might not be for everybody, but if you're complaining about a map like that, oh goodness, someone's gonna have to, change your diaper, give you a bath, because it is fantastic. I don't know what there is not to like about it.
It's seriously, like, no offense to any other games I've ever played, but like this is seriously like the best and almost literally like most perfect video game I think I've ever played and seen and experienced in my entire life.
It's flawless, and it's like what we were talking about earlier. It's the campaign game. It's the campaign game you can play all day and not get tired of. I've had friends come over to the house and we would trade off controllers. It almost felt like it was when I first started playing games with my friends, except the graphics are next gen. And I think that that's what they should continue making, is good campaigns like that groups of friends can actually enjoy and myself can personally enjoy, because that's literally like my leisure game. When I'm having a bad day or I don't really know what to do, I'm like, I'm going to play some Spider-Man, and it takes it all away. I'm like, this is the best game. I'm telling you.
Well, I'll even do that too. If I literally can't think of anything to do, I will literally just play Spider-Man. I'll just swing around. I'll stop some crimes here and there, and I'll just be like, I'd be fine just doing this for a little while. Like,
yeah, definitely. And I think that's what we need more of, because like we said earlier, these communities and online games, they can frustrate you. So say you've had a bad day, you want to play some games, it gets worse because you have people telling you that they wish you got kicked and that they want to do this and that to your family because you missed a shot. I mean, literally, it's the biggest first world problem I've ever seen. It's people complain at you. But yeah, like, I think Spider-Man is the perfect example of like a flawless game that you will remember later on too. It's something to tell the kids about,
Yeah, exactly. Like, literally everything about this game is just perfect. Like, again, the setting, the story, the character. To me, this is like the perfect Peter Parker, like, in the perfect Spider-Man. And
oh yeah,
all these characters are done so well. You get a great cameo from the late great Stan Lee. I mean, how can you go wrong with this game? Like,
You can't top that. You get Stan Lee in the game, close before he passed on. Then you get beautiful graphics. And honestly, I mean, the story as a campaign as a whole is almost just better than any of the movies. So really, you cannot complain. Literally, the only reason that you could have to complain about the game is you're just not good at it. But that's the thing. If you're bad at the game, it's the kind of game you can keep going and not be upset about it. It's fun.
Well, and even if you're not a Marvel guy and you're not into Spider-Man, you still got the whole Arkham series for Batman. Like, those games are the same way. Like, you might have, a hit or miss in there, but I haven't played through the entire game, unfortunately. But I know, like, Arkham Knight, like the last game that came out, God knows how long ago. I still know people who were still playing that game, and they said, "Oh yeah, dude, this is the 4th or 5th time I played through this game already."
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you wait, what? You played through this game that many times? Like, Spider-Man, I've only played through Spider-Man once, and that was while I was streaming it. And now I'm just playing through it again because you have to beat it on, I think it's like ultimate mode. That's like the hardest difficulty. And I still have one of the DLCs to beat and beat all that stuff in there. And I'll have literally completed the game.
Yeah. That's great, though.
Like, I don't know what it is, but like, I'm just so hell-bent on like completing these games that I've fallen in love with. Like Fallen Order. I think I've got 2 more trophies to get, and I think I'm done.
Man, you're grinding. I actually haven't played that game yet. I've gotten a lot of it for it. And like, I mean, and I'm a Star Wars fan too, but I just haven't really gotten around to play it yet.
Well, see, it's not for everybody. I mean, for you, you'd probably like it because it's like Uncharted. It's got a lot of Uncharted kind of things. You're jumping around, swinging on ropes, and climbing all these things. It's open world like Spider-Man. You can go around planet to planet to planet. I mean, it's an immersive game too. It's very similar to Spider-Man for me because, of course, Star Wars nerd right here. But like, there were times I literally got like immersed into the game, and I almost forgot I was playing the game. And like, I thought I was like watching a movie or like a TV show. Like, that's how absolutely immersed I was in the game. Oh, and actually, we got a guy here in the chat. Young Gamers watching? Associated. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but I loved Fallen Order. And see, that's even a thing. You can even be a fan of the game and not really be a huge fan of like Star Wars in general. Like, this could be your version of Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, look, and first of all, that's my friend Lance. Lance, thank you for joining the podcast because we are having a great conversation. And the thing is it's really true though, because like you said about Spider-Man, you might not be the biggest fan of Marvel, but if you can hop in Spider-Man and at least start the campaign, you're going to be immersed. And it's almost more immersive than a movie. It's like literally these cutscenes, when you intertwine them with the gameplay, I feel like I'm literally in a movie and like I'm on TV and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy,
Yeah, for me, if video game developers can make more games like Spider-Man, like Fallen Order, even like God of War 2018 that came out here just a few years ago, if they can make great campaign games like that, I really feel like they're going to eventually bounce back, and like the campaign-based games are going to be back on top.
I definitely agree, man. I mean, and look, with these kind of graphics, it's the perfect time to do it. Why would you not give us some more immersive stuff like that we can, campaign through on our own? So yeah, I definitely agree that this decade and later on is the perfect time for games to do exactly what Spider-Man's doing. And that way, I mean, come on, man. I mean, if you can't have fun, like I said, in a game like that, I mean, literally, be a damn boring person because like it's a blast. So,
And your buddy Lance here, God of War. Yes, I definitely 100% agree with you. And this next one here he wrote is shocking to me. I played through that game like 7 or 8 times. You know, man,
Jesus, Lance.
God. I will literally say this. Probably my favorite video game series of all time is God of War. Like, God of War 2 for me is literally the top tier of all of them. Don't get me wrong. Like, 2018 is really like razor thin close, and the same thing with God of War 3. But my God, the story of God of War and all like the little reveals you get throughout and all like the things you can learn kind of about like mythology. Like that's the thing I like the most about like the Greek mythology, because I kind of knew some things. Thank you, Hercules from Disney.
But, let's go.
But like,
I love Hercules.
Yeah, and like you even get to fight him, and I was like, whoa, like this ain't a Hercules I'm used to. But like, you're fighting all these just like, I don't know if you want to say famous or like historical kind of people, but you fight like Zeus, Hades, Hermes, Hercules, like all these just historical figures. And then you do the same thing in Call of Duty. Wow.
Oh, no.
And my bad. God of War. My bad. Wow. Yeah.
Well, listen, what I was going to say, I didn't interrupt you, did I?
Oh, you're good, man.
Okay, look, here's the thing. Like, you talked about history, and here's the deal. Like, Mafia is another series. It's so good at that because I've always been interested in the no, I don't gonna kill anybody. I just think they make good movies and make for entertaining content. And those games, they can really immerse you as well.
Yeah, like even like Lance even just said right here, like he wasn't really into God of War, but that ending made him cry, dude. That ending was just like a punch to the gut, and it was so emotional. And that reveal, I don't know if you've played it or not, Evan, but quick little spoiler alert. But Kratos' kid is actually Loki, like the god of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it said, because he can read all like the symbols and stuff. So like, he's like, oh, said my name was Loki, and it's like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's. Ooh.
See, that's another thing. Again, like we've been talking about with Spider-Man or anything else. Like if it can make your jaw drop like you're watching a movie, that's a great campaign.
Right. You know, and I think that really comes down to the question, what makes a good game? And, you know, we talked about a game that we can play for years because you were talking about Arkham Knight and the Arkham series. We can play, if there's still people playing now, how many years ago was that, man? Oh my gosh.
God, 2015, 16, somewhere in there.
Look, if you can still, and the same thing with Battlefront, to have people still playing, I think that's the answer alone. Are people still playing? If there's a game that came out years ago and people have just kind of dried it out, there's not really anybody playing, well, I think that's kind of answers itself. It just wasn't that really a good game. And, you know, I think that's the answer, really. And especially a good game also, like we said, is the one that can really put you in the game and make you feel like you're there, thus making you play it all day long. I think that's flawless to me, you know?
Yeah, I mean, since I've been playing the PS4, there's only been 3 games that have, like, immersed me so much into these games, like, that you, like, look at the time when you're starting, and it's, like, 6 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden you look again, and it's, like, midnight. Where did the time go? Like...
That's it, man. And I think that's what video games are supposed to do. I mean, that's what they did in the 90s, early 2000s. online came around, so it kind of dumbed us down a little to playing, like 10 to 20 minutes to 6 hours, so, but literally, like, I think it's great to know that we can still talk about games years later that we've put our lives into. I mean, literally, there's games I've played. I'm like, man, I literally played that all day. Like, it's crazy. And because it's a good game, that's literally it. That's what I think.
See, I was the same way, even like way back on like the Super Nintendo when I was playing Donkey Kong Country. Like, the second the game would start up and that music would hit right when it starts, like I was in. I'm like, yep, let's do this. Let's go. I'm ready. And then every single time you'd play a new level, you'd fight more guys, you'd do more fun things, and you'd start hearing a lot more fun music. And it's like, dude, this is what it is. Like, this is amazing.
Music is a very important part of video games. I think a lot of people don't really give that enough credit, because we can talk about the gameplay and how fun it is, but I've taken the time to go on YouTube and look up old soundtracks just to give it a listen, because it's nostalgic. And I'm telling you, a good theme, that's fantastic.
Well, it's literally like watching a movie. Like, certain music hits you, and
Yeah, yeah.
you're in. And if you don't have like that effective music, if a film I can really describe that makes it just so dumb is Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. There's these two
No.
they come out to like this like Goosebumps music, and it's like, what? Like, you just went and looked for like a psychopathic serial killer, and you're coming out to Goosebumps. Like, that, you're out of it. It's like, okay, I'm done. I don't even want to like finish this at all.
Yeah, for real. I'm telling you, and it literally takes like one note of a song to really change your whole vibe. And that's what those Resident Evil games did so good too. I mean, they could literally make you feel like you're there because of the music. They could change your emotions, because, like, literally put on a scary game or a scary movie and put a damn clown show music over it. It changes the whole perspective,
It's like comparing. This is such a horrible analogy, but it's the only one I can really think of right now. It's like comparing Jurassic Park, the first one, to like Barney's Great Adventure.
Yeah.
Barney is like 100 times scarier than Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, that's what I think. I'm scared of Barney.
But like, again, getting back into like the music, like Spider-Man has just such like beautiful, immersive music in it. It's just like you're there, you're watching it. And like you just said with Resident Evil, like Resident Evil 2, you're literally it's such an atmospheric game. Like,
right.
There were literally times I was even just scared, just like walking through the halls. I'm like, okay, who's next?
Sometimes
I don't want to die.
Yeah, sometimes silence can be the best thing to do, because sometimes, like, I feel like sometimes games can be like the radio. Like, how, like, back then when people used to listen to the radio, if it got quiet, they'd look at it, be like, oh, what the hell happened to the radio? But now in games, if it gets quiet, we look at it and we're like, oh shit, like something scary is about to happen.
Yeah, especially if it is a scary game. It's like, all right, it's been way too quiet. Or even if you just hear like a footstep, or you hear like a little noise, or like a ruffle of the grass. It's like watching a horror movie. You're like, oh my god.
And you're gonna get scared.
Yeah,
you're gonna get jumped. Yeah. Oof.
You're gonna
very scary.
Yeah, like that's why I think like the campaign games are better than online, because obviously, of course, one, there's no toxicity. You can play the game how you want. If you mess up, nobody's gonna sit there and judge you except yourself.
Oh yeah.
And it's just a more, I guess for me, when I play campaign games, it's more like this is gonna sound so weird, but like a personal like connection to the game. Like, You kind of like can
Oh
feel,
yeah.
you can feel for some characters. You can really like feel their actual emotions. Like again, for the umpteenth time, going back to Spider-Man, dude, when Aunt May died, oh my god, I bawled. Like
Me too.
I bawled like a freaking girl. Like I'm like, no, like we just got this huge victory. We just beat Doc Ock, and now Aunt May is gone. It's like, man. And you even feel that same thing with Miles when his dad sacrifices himself to try and save everybody. It's like, man, like, ugh. It's just
Yeah,
so
I'm
emotional.
it is. I'm definitely on the same page with you, man. I mean, literally the way they can make it seem so theatrical. I mean, that's crazy.
And even like Lance is saying here, like a solid soundtrack is one thing. It can just make you forget about everything and anything.
Oh yeah, I mean, I go on YouTube, I'll find a soundtrack from a video game, and I'll read the comments, and they'll literally say stuff like, "This brings me back to this year," or "This is what I used to listen to make me feel better." And I'm like, goodness, if that song wasn't in the game, I mean, they might not even have liked the game. You know, it can almost add on game time.
Well, exactly. And I mean, imagine playing a game, like even a game like way back in the day, like the Turtles game I was talking about, like way at the beginning of the stream. Like you got like just this fun little, like, I don't even know how to word it, like jazzy kind of techno-ish music. And it's like, yeah, imagine just playing through that. And it'd be like even playing a game like Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah.
Like if all you did was just fight and you just heard them go, like, no, give me some like give me some intense music, man. Like, let's amp this up a little bit. Like, I'm near
Yeah,
death.
for real.
It's like, next person who sneezes, they're dead.
Yeah, for real. And another thing is, it's cool how, like, you know a good game's good when you can walk into a room, not know what someone's playing, and just guess it by the music. Like the Mortal Kombat. Like if I walked in and I heard that, I'd be like, oh damn, someone's whipping ass. That's gotta be what's going on.
Someone's either whipping ass or getting their ass beat.
Exactly. One of the two. One of the two.
Or even if you could just walk into a room and you just see what they're playing, it's like, yeah, you know, I ain't got nothing better to do. I'm gonna watch you guys because it just looks good.
Yeah.
Even
That's
if you,
another thing. I know we keep bringing it up, but that's what Spider-Man did. I'd be sitting there playing Spider-Man in the room. My friends would walk in and be like, hand over the remote. It's my turn. And I'm like, never have I had that happen within 5 years. So, yeah, that's very impressive.
well, that's why I keep bringing it up personally because like I literally cannot think of like a more perfectly built game than Spider-Man. Like that, especially now I know they're making a second one. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what they're gonna do, what the story is gonna be like, the music, how is New York gonna look like? Is it gonna look twice as good as it already does in this game? Like,
Right. My friend, if New York looks any better, I'm going to pee my pants. I'm going to be scared because literally, like, it's almost scary. And here's the thing that they also set the bar high for other campaign games. Because if you tell me, oh, Evan, a campaign's coming out next year, the first thing I'm going to think of is it going to make me feel the way I felt when I played Spider-Man? Because literally, they've almost defined next gen campaign. That's the way it should be. It should feel like a movie. It should get my friends who don't even like Spider-Man to want to play. The music is fantastic. I mean, literally, they've set a really high bar, bro. It's crazy.
exactly. And I think that's why I'm like excited to play this Resident Evil 3 coming out because like the last two I've played, I've been so immersed in like the music and everything about it just sucks you right in. So like I want to just get sucked right back into this world again and just re-experience it, see how this next campaign is going to be, and
Yeah.
just have my own experience. Like this for me is my Resident Evil. Like to all you guys who have played the original Resident Evils, like, you know, that's awesome. I'm happy for you, but unfortunately, I never grew up playing them. So I feel like if I go back and play them now, I'm probably going to have a completely different, like, looked at these games. So
Right.
I don't know. Oh, that's actually pretty interesting there, Lance.
Oh yeah, that's what I was telling Austin, Lance. I'm telling you, having been there quite a bit, I mean, they've got it to the T. It's terrifying. Like literally, I've every iconic building there, down to the very bit of the texture, is completely flawless. I'm telling you. And then it makes me wonder, I mean, they could do that. If they can do that to New York, they can do that to anywhere, literally anywhere. So that's what I want to see. I want to see some open world big cities. That would be fantastic. Because, I mean, literally, they have impressed me beyond belief.
Well, I'd kind of like to see if they made a game just like Spider-Man, but it was maybe like post-apocalyptic.
Ooh, yeah, definitely.
Like, I don't care what it is, zombies, vampires, werewolves, Barney himself. I really don't care. Like,
Oh, no, not Barney. I'm going to pee my pants if I see Barney in the street.
right? Well, like,
I'll tell you one thing. You brought me back. I used to install GTA 4 zombie mods. Ooh, I mean, it was really post-apocalyptic Liberty City. Um, see, next gen, that just being the basis of a game, that'd be genius right there.
well, yeah, and I mean, we've had games come out here recently, like Ghost Recon Wildlands came out a number of years ago. Right now, we're on Breakpoint, and they added in these like specific missions. Like in Wildlands, they had like a week-long thing of like kill the predator. You kill the predator, you get this special whatever, like skin
Right.
on whatever. And right now in this new one, they've got the Terminator.
Ooh,
So it's like, oh man.
yeah, that's good stuff.
But like, even if they made a open world game like that, or even with like aliens, like you're out in space, you're just traveling, you're flying, all of a sudden just these things start happening inside of your ship.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. And Lance, I've actually never played Web of Shadows, believe it or not. I've as much as I love Spider-Man, he's my favorite hero of all time. I played the original Spider-Man for PlayStation, another like top 10 favorite game. Spider-Man 2, Sam Raimi version. I played Ultimate Spider-Man, and of course I've played this Spider-Man now. I haven't played any of like the middle games.
Well, I have played the game, and I can tell you, underrated. It could be a good word for it. You don't think about it anymore. I mean, literally, I forgot about it until he brought it up. But I used to play all the time, so yeah. But yeah, there were definitely better Spider-Man games released around that time period. But it was very good. I enjoyed it. I'll
De-
compliment it.
definitely, definitely. Now, man, I mean, we've kind of been bringing this up here and there, but I figured let's actually like give our real thoughts on this. And it's the toxicity in the world of gaming, and more specifically, like we keep bringing up, online game playing.
Right.
Like we've been saying, you're doing good, you get killed, or you kill some guy, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you suck, and stuff like that. Like, again, that's why I've been like leaning more towards like campaign games, because I don't want to
Yeah.
be that. Like, even the most toxic fan base that I lately have been really disappointed to be a part of, but it reminds me a lot of like the Star Wars community. You got all these just huge, just toxic fans, and it's like, dude,
Right.
let's all just enjoy it for what it is. If you don't like it, okay, cool. You don't gotta slander me and say I should just go home and just drown myself or do this or do that just because I like it. And it's like, no,
Right.
like if I kill you in a game, man, like it just happens. It's what happens in games. Like, yeah, it
That's
sucks.
for sure.
Like, yeah, it sucks you died. Yeah, you probably got to go way back to the beginning where you just were, get back with your team. But
Yeah.
that's why they make games like this. That's just how they go. I mean,
Here's the deal. The first experience that I had with toxicity or toxinity, am I saying this right?
toxicity.
Yeah, look, this is crazy. So I used to play Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It was a very fun game. Competition was very fun. But then it started to get real weird around the community where people would start these trends like clutch or kick. Like, okay, here's the deal. So I was doing a really good job, believe it or not, in a comp game. I was actually on top of the leaderboard. People were happy with me. I died one time in the middle of a round. Keep in mind, we're in the lead and I die. And everyone goes off in their mics, clutch or kick, clutch or kick. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I mess up again and they kick me out. Like literally, man, they booted me and they started calling me names before and they started yelling at me. And I was like, and keep in mind, I was looking forward to playing this game all day. Games that make me look forward to playing it during school and stuff, like after a long day.
Yep.
To be completely butchered by these people that you don't even know. So it's not like I'm going to take it personal. I know I don't know these people. But here's the thing. I mean, when you're doing good and they ruin your experience because they're either jealous or they think they're better than you, I think that's what it comes down to. And I'm really glad that there's a mute button now on the mics in these games because people will literally tell you stuff that like you said earlier, I mean, stuff to your mom, stuff to your family, stuff to you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm so sorry I happen to be better. Or I'm so sorry I messed up. We all make mistakes. So,
Well, there's
yeah.
not one single person who's like God at playing these games. Like, I guarantee you, even if you would meet or look up like the greatest Call of Duty player, I'll guarantee you he's died. Like
Oh,
that.
100%. And look, man, I mean, we all make mistakes. And here's the deal. Like, when you are playing comp of any game and you have a teammate that's last, they're the only ones playing. It's depending on them how we do. If they mess up, I mean, these people will go off on this poor person. Many times it's been me. And it's like, look, man, I mean, just tell him good try and let's try again. Like, why are you literally butchering this man's feelings like he's trash? And, it makes it very unenjoyable and actually kind of intimidating. Like, it makes you not want to go back.
Exactly. Especially too if like let's figuratively say you just got your PS4, your first game is Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and you're excited jumping into it. You kill this guy, all of a sudden he gets on the mic and just starts calling you trash every time you die. Oh, you're trash. Just leave this game. It's like, wow. My first online experience. No, I don't like this.
No, and you don't feel liked. You don't feel involved. You just spent $60 on the game, by the way, and people are calling names the way most of the time. I don't know if you've noticed this. Don't even apply to you. I've been called stuff that make me think to myself, "Why did you just call me that? I'm the whitest person on earth. Why did you just call me that? Like, why?" And then and in my mind, I'm just like, "You guys, like that was rude.
Yeah, it's like man, like you buy a game to have fun. You want to just get online so you can meet new people, like how I've met you, how I've met a whole bunch of my other online friends. Like you slowly meet new people, and it's like, okay, I'll get in here and I want to meet some new people. And when 9 out of the 10 guys are just, obviously you're the 10th guy, are all just asses and just calling you names and ruining your entire experience. It's like, well, I don't like this. I don't want to do this anymore. I just wasted $60 on a game now.
Yeah, no, listen, man, it goes back to elementary school. If you really don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. Because honestly, just take the high road. If you look like an ass, you're going to be known as an ass forever in this game. And, I just don't think, I don't see the point. I don't think it makes them look like a better player. I've never had someone talk down on my performance in a game and me go, "Oh my God, I wish I was like him." Like, never, ever have I thought that. So really, communities, they've gotten in a weird spot where they think that's okay. And I know it's not everybody, but it's almost every game you get into, there's one person that is willing to tell you off.
Oh, exactly. And you even like occasionally like you'll like get this guy, you'll be like, hey, you follow me, and he'll perch up over here and watch my back. And it's like, oh, hey, I found a decent guy here. And
Yeah.
you play a few more games with them, and it's like, oh, okay, this online experience isn't so bad anymore.
Oh yeah, listen, I've made friends in online games that I've known for years now. It only takes one game for you to make. I mean, look, if it wasn't for Battlefront, I wouldn't be here on this podcast now. So obviously, there's definitely perks with communities, but yeah, if people could just keep their mouths shut, we would have good things going on around here, you know?
Oh, exactly. Like, as weird as it would be if, like, maybe game developers would, like, find a way where, like, oh, this guy's doing this, he's banned or whatever. I mean,
Yeah, and not for dying one time, too. Literally, like I said, I mean, everyone's going to make mistakes. But if people are being racist or they're being mean, yeah, let's kick him. Clutch your kick. But, like, literally, if I'm just trying and I screw up, like, don't call me these names. Like, come on. Like, come on. But look, another thing that I should probably mention, that, like Lance per se, they'll be like, oh, Evan, you just screwed up real, like, bad. And I'm like, I know. And it's a laugh. Like, we'll goof off with each other and kind of fake make fun of each other. But when there's people I've never laid eyes that, since they're behind the TV, can't get to me, they think they can say whatever they want. I'm like, this is ridiculous. That's really irritating.
well, exactly. And, like, I guess I don't know how you experience it, but I've had guys where you can almost literally tell that they're, like, hacking in the game. Like, how can this one guy have, like, 50 kills, no deaths? And I'm pretty sure you've watched him die, like, a handful of times here.
Yeah. No, I know 100% that there are people that on game chat that will ruin somebody else's game when they're probably cheating themselves. I know that for sure. I've seen it. And streamers as well. They'll abuse smaller streamers, yet they're sub-botting, they're view-botting, and I can tell because, I mean, it's kind of obvious. So,
Yeah, like, God, when was it? A couple weeks ago, where apparently one of the God, who was it? It was on your stream, but there was like a YouTube guy and said your channel was going to get banned or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, people will come in with their fake accounts saying I'm over. They're gonna ban me now for assault. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Yeah, and but they're never real accounts, which is good news because sometimes I feel like I should check my copyright standings. But everything's healthy. The DerechoGaming's a healthy channel. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, I mean, I try to keep my channel like that. I don't get a lot of. I guess I don't really get a lot of toxicity, but that's because I deal with that kind of stuff on like a day-to-day basis, like at my personal job, and it's like, dude, I come here to this channel to have fun, talk with guys, just let loose, not have to worry about anything. That's pretty much one of the big reasons I did this, because I was just playing games. They made me feel good, and I'm like, well, I feel like I'm a decent player. Let's maybe just try make a YouTube channel just for the heck of it. And
it's like I said, I mean, literally, I was enjoying this game so much. I wanted people to see it happen. And here's the thing. I mean, it's all about positivity at my channel. And I know you're doing the same thing, which is good because I think YouTube channels are all about that, especially when you're going live. You should try to build a community that is so clean and happy to be there. Whenever you have people coming in there telling you that you're going to be banned and that they don't like what they're seeing, I've gotten into the habit of kind of just ignoring it. And, of course, there's moderators that can also take that out for you. But otherwise, I mean, yeah, there's always one bad seed out there,
Oh, exactly. And I mean, like your buddy Lance here, like He's being really active in the chat, and that's what I like. I like when people like get in on discussions. Like even when I bring up stuff in your chat, and all of a sudden, like every other person's like talking about that same subject. It's like, yeah, this is what I like. I like this kind of stuff, this kind of positivity to push forward.
Oh man, I mean, I've literally had no idea I had this ability. I've had people tell me, Evan, thanks to your channel, I'm not unhappy about my evenings anymore. I've made plenty of new friends online. And I'm like, goodness, like if I didn't start this channel, the fact that there's some friendships that it might have never happened, like us, it's like, man, if all I would have had to do is decide, no, I don't want to make a YouTube channel, and we wouldn't be sitting here talking. So I like to know that any YouTube channel can bring people together. And that's what it's all about, you know.
Oh, exactly. Like I do a lot of collaborations with my buddy Kellen, and like he's brought people from my channel over, and I've done the same thing. We've go back and forth, we collaborate, we come up with ideas, we make videos together, and help each other out. Again, in a weird way, like with YouTube, it's like one big like team.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Looks like your buddy Lance wants to get in on this.
He's more than welcome to. Lance is fantastic, and I also recommend him as like, you know, a guest for the podcast later on, because like if you to talk one-on-one with him as well, because like he's got a lot of great standpoints about gaming in the industry as well. So yeah, he's great. I'd love to have him in here.
Yeah, if he's got an account made here on the StreamYard, yeah, I'd gladly bring him in, have another person in here to kind of get their opinion on things too. I'd like that.
Yeah, definitely. And Lance, if you don't have that StreamYard set up, you know, we are gonna be doing this again. I'm telling you. Like, I love Midwest Cantina podcast. You better believe I'll be back, because I don't know. I just like talking about this stuff and talking about where it's going, and knowing that next time we talk, something new is gonna be out. That's great.
Well, exactly. Even if we like did like an update on like if you wanted to come on here and talk about like how awesome and amazing Doom is, since it's your anticipated game, and I talk about Resident Evil 3 on here. I mean, we could both talk about how good our games are or whatever. I'm up for like any topic. I will just say I'm not a political guy, so I ain't into that. Like I'm into like the nerdy
Hey, me
stuff,
neither. I'm
the
not into it.
gaming. Like you want to come on here and talk about a movie with me too? If you want to come in here and talk about Birds of Prey, I just went to that the other day. If you guys wanted to talk about that, I'm game, man.
Great. Yeah, let's go. I like some good movie reviews.
Yeah, exactly. Like come on here with people and get their opinions instead of just me doing my own movie reviews. I think that's another reason I don't do those, because this is something me and Evan were talking about earlier. Because like I'm talking to my buddy Ethan about making another YouTube channel about just reviewing horror movies, basically, because we both have like a huge love of horror.
Yeah.
Like we reviewed Halloween 2018 when it came out, and we filmed that inside my car on my cell phone, and we did an entire live stream talking about the film in my car. Because we're both just such...
That's cool. I mean, yeah.
Because we're both just such huge fans of the franchise, and even early last year we made a top 10 horror movie list, and we go so in depth talking about things, even when we're just by ourselves, just hanging out. Like we'll still just talk about it. And I always look at them, I'm like, man, we need a channel, because we just talk about this. We know so much. We can inform all these people out here who don't really know a lot about horror, or they're kind of like the casual fans.
Yeah, I've had people say, Evan, I didn't like Star Wars until I started watching, and I was like, look, if I can do that, it's almost like I'm some kind of god, because literally, like, I'm almost like convinced that like if you don't like Star Wars, you just really don't like it, and that's okay. I mean, it's not for everybody, But if there's someone who didn't like it, that's kind of got turned on to it, I mean, literally someone needs to give me a medal because that's hard to do.
Right.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Well, see, and I'm the same way. Like, everybody's always just talking down about this sequel trilogy, and I thoroughly enjoyed it for the most part. You know, I have mixed feelings on episode 8, which a lot of people do, but
Yeah.
it's just, to me, I think it's better than everybody wants to actually give it an opportunity and say, like, oh, okay, this one wasn't bad. Like, a lot of people love The Force Awakens. The
Right.
Last Jedi kind of is what stirred the pot, really. And then all of a sudden, this new one, Rise of Skywalker, just came out, and it's like, yeah, no, that was a crappy ending. Return of the Jedi is still my ending of Star Wars, which, whatever. Everybody can have their own thing, like I said earlier about Jedi Fallen Order. If that's your Star Wars, cool.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, with the toxic communities, it really takes a few groups of people that hate on a movie to really ruin everybody's perception of the movie. Because when episode 8 came out, I liked it a lot, and I still do. Then I told everybody that, and they're like, what do you mean you liked it a lot? And then I get yelled at, I get weeped at. I'm telling you, I'm like, listen, I've got my own opinion. Just because everybody out here is upset about it, I'm not going to change it. That's just how it is, you know?
Exactly. Like, you like Last Jedi? Cool. I'm totally okay with that. My thing, I respect the fact that you at least like Star Wars. If you just wanted to if somebody just wanted to come in here and just completely talk down about it, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, go. I don't want this in here.
Yeah. No, yeah, if you can at least enjoy the trilogy first and then have an opinion, yeah, that's fine. But don't make fun of me for it because I love Star Wars and I can tell you that I mean, was it the best sequel? No. But that doesn't mean it wasn't appealing. I was completely diverse with it. And yeah, I mean, and people say it's literally the worst thing ever. I've seen things, and this is all my YouTube chat. People saying that it's the worst Star Wars ever. But look, I mean, each and every Star Wars movie has its quirks, and so I think you should just go with the flow with it.
Well, exactly. Look, like we constantly say, everybody's entitled to their own opinion on things. Which again, I don't see anybody ever saying this, but if there was actually somebody who said they despised Marvel Spider-Man,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, don't get me wrong, my heart would probably shatter into a million pieces, but at the same time, I'd be like, okay, that's you, man. I mean, I'll let that go, but I don't want to shove a knife through your throat.
Yeah, for real.
Well, I think we're gonna get Lance in here because I'd like to get another person's opinion because this next topic we're definitely gonna have to do. I think we're gonna go with again the problem.
If it's the topic I think about, yeah, is it gonna be about Call of Duty? Because we're gonna need an extra hand on this conversation because like literally, it's a wild conversation to be had. So we need my guy Lance in here. Because seriously, there's a lot to be said.
Yeah, I'm just oh, here we go. Okay. I just gotta send him an invite real fast here. Is that a dot? Oh, okay. There's a name in front of it. That's why. I almost hit the X button on this podcast. I would have cried so freaking hard. Oh my god.
That would have literally brought up the conversation back up from earlier, how like you were having a great time, and then literally one click of a button or the internet connection ruins everything.
Yeah, that would have been on me though. I'd have been like,
Hey, it would have been a good one archive. But listen, we've got plenty more we need to discuss here because, like, and with Land, I think we're gonna have a good conversation.
yeah, I'm looking forward to this because, like I said, I know this is something a lot of people have opinions on is the Call of Duty franchise. So,
Oh yeah.
I mean, we're going on an hour and 45 minutes into this podcast. So, everybody who's been watching, thank you so much for sticking around. Been having a lot of fun here, man. Who knows? We'll see how long we're gonna go for.
This has been fantastic, man. Thank you again for having me on here. This has been fun.
Oh yeah, man. Anytime. I definitely, like I said, I'll definitely have you back here.
Great.
We'll have to think of another topic to talk about the next time you're on here.
Definitely. You should definitely get Lance on there too to talk about paladins because, like, oh my gosh, he hates paladins, and he would be happy to spend like 2 hours talking about how much he doesn't like it.
Hello.
Alrighty, here's Lance, guys.
What is up? What's going on?
Nothing much, man. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
All
you
right,
too.
what's up, man?
Nothing much. I'm just chilling. I'm just relaxing, listening to a podcast.
All right,
I'm glad you're enjoying
it. Yeah, I hope you've been enjoying it so far.
You know how hard it is to type so many words on like a little tiny phone screen because you have so many things you want to say, but it's just like,
man, I just need to voice it here.
well, I'm here. What's going on?
All right, so let's start with Lance, actually, since he's in here now. So, Lance, what do you think is the real problem right now with Call of Duty?
The real problem with Call of Duty, huh? I feel okay. So they've improved a lot since their most recent games were jetpacks and like all this futuristic stuff. But I feel like they need to listen to their community a bit more and actually add in to what they want. Because I feel like they're just doing what they feel like they want, and it's not really what the players and the community want, you know?
Yeah, I could see that. I feel like that's probably why they did this Modern Warfare, because I know Modern Warfare is probably one of like the most celebrated games in the entire franchise.
And they're just trying to go back and like see if they can get that hype back up. Because I mean, a lot of people were quitting Call of Duty because their games they were releasing games like once a year, and they were awful games. Like there wasn't really a whole lot of depth to them.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And I feel like they spent their time on this one and actually like listened to some things that the people wanted. But I feel like they still have a lot of progress to make, but they definitely have improved a lot.
Okay. Evan, what's your opinion? What do you think is the problem with Call of Duty?
Here's the deal. I love Call of Duty, and I've been playing for a while. But here's the thing. The quantity is crazy. Like Lance said, Modern Warfare has made like huge advancements. And then next thing I know, a couple of days ago, they announced that there's a new one coming out later this year, early next year. And I'm like, but literally I just spent $60 and literally have given a lot of my time and live broadcast to the game. So it's like, I feel like they're pumping them out a little too quick. And I don't know if you guys agree about it, but I coming out really fast. Let me see.
Like comparing it to Battlefield, like it took them, I want to say 2 or 3 years from Battlefield 4 to Battlefield, 1 to come out.
Yep,
and then
that's true.
It was like a year later for Battlefield 5, and not a whole lot of people like Battlefield 5 because I just felt like they tried to please the public and get one out way too quick, and they didn't spend enough time working on it. Because Battlefield 4 was amazing, and I feel like they actually took their time like in that game. So like I just feel
Yeah,
like
and I also don't think that they're giving people time to like anticipate it and want it. The reason people are like begging for GTA 6 right now is because it's been years and they've played so much of GTA 5. And here's the thing, I've not even in triple digits yet in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and then they have announced there's a new one coming up. And I'm like, whoa, that was quick. And I just feel like I should stop playing this one now because I feel like by the time I get good, which is going to take a while, a new one's going to come out. And so I think that's a bit of a problem. But other than that, I can't really think of anything that's bothered me. So, yeah.
I feel like the community on this one is a lot more restricted. It's a lot less violent and chaotic, you know?
Yeah, I have
agree.
noticed that watching like some gameplay videos too. Like it doesn't seem as like me and Evan have been talking about. It doesn't seem as like toxic, really, because like this feels like a straight up just boots on the ground. You don't need jetpacks, laser beams, exosuits, all them weird things that like Black Ops 3 and even though I really like the game, but like Advanced Warfare, like all that kind of stuff they brought onto the table. And like Evan was just saying too, it's like you just put $60 down on this game, and now they just announced a new one, and it's like, well, I've got all this progress going, and by the time I finally start getting good at the game, this new one's going to come out, and everybody's going to be hopping onto this game.
I mean, like,
listen, it's crazy. I agree.
Because they came out with Infinity War and then added Modern Warfare, like the actual one, like as a DLC kind of. But isn't that was a completely different game? But I felt like they just added it too quick because people were kind of ticked off of the way Infinity War like turned out.
Yeah. Because like I've never played that one, but Evan and me were talking about it earlier. Like he said he watched the trailer and it looked really good, and it's probably one of the most disliked videos in like all of YouTube.
Wow.
But
I think it's in the top 5 right now.
Yeah, like I've never played it because I'm kind of the same way with a lot of people. I'm not really into the whole like space agey kind of Call of Duty. I'm more like classic boots on the ground, real life weapons.
I mean, okay, this is an unpopular opinion, but I liked Ghosts because I felt like it was really underrated. It had a good campaign. And just a lot of people didn't like the multiplayer because I feel like they got used to that futuristic kind of vibe you're getting from it, and it just kind of reversed roles, in my opinion. Like it completely went from like futuristic to more of like a modern day kind of like war type of game.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. I bought like the steel case like deluxe edition of Ghost. I loved it. I thought it was really fun.
It's probably my most played Call of Duty game since like Black Ops 2.
Yeah, I put a lot
and
Black Ops 2.
And like I respect everybody's opinion about each game. Like when people are like, "Oh, I'm not into the spacey thing," like that's fine. But like literally, what does it matter? Next year, there's going to be another one anyways, and like all of the progress I've made isn't even going to be relevant. So I think that's my main problem. That's what I've got going.
Well, and even like the big thing too, it's like sell everything separately, like we said earlier. Like sell the campaign for $20 and then sell the online multiplayer for $40.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if you wanted to, you could add like zombies in there for like another, I don't know, $5 or whatever. Add that as like an add-on.
Well, yeah, and look, like I think it's like I know we talked about it earlier, but I'm going to tell you. First of all, the campaign for those who actually do play it, I know Lance played it. It was quick. Wasn't it?
It was
quick though, right?
But it was a really good campaign. I just like the way that they introduced all the different perspectives of like worldviews about terrorism and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like it. I don't know.
So, Oh, I was just saying, like, that's cool. But
Yeah.
then for the group of people that like that, I think it should be separate. I feel like people like me, and look, I'm not saying it's a bad campaign. It looks great, but I don't really plan on playing it. So I'm like, oh man, it's kind of just sitting there. I wish it would have downloaded separately. So because it takes up, it's probably what takes up a lot of room on the gigs is the campaign. And if you took that off and I just had multiplayer, I'd be happy with that. And you know, that's just what I think. Me and him were talking about it earlier, but it's completely debatable. Some people probably don't even really care, but that's just me.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, there's only one guy on the face of this planet who I know buys Call of Duty games for the campaign.
Oh yeah, Ethan.
Yeah, Ethan.
I mean, they have really good campaigns. Like most of their campaigns are honestly pretty solid.
Oh yeah, they're the ones I have played. They've never been bad. That's for sure.
Well, see, because I will admit, like, when I first started getting into, like, playing online, that's basically why I only bought Call of Duty. I bought Black Ops 2, and then I bought Ghosts, and then I bought Advanced Warfare, and I didn't even play or even touch the campaigns on any of those games at all. I couldn't even tell you the last Call of Duty campaign I played.
So
Oh really?
I'm looking at all the release dates for these Call of Duty games, and they're literally all in November, like a year apart.
Well, see, like,
yeah, that's my problem.
that's the other thing. Like, they feel like they're just reskins. Like, they just let's just do next year, 2 years from now, let's do Black Ops 5, let's do Modern Warfare 10, let's do this, let's do that. It's like, take off a couple of years. You don't need to have a Call of Duty game. Like this year, that they should have just waited a few years, let Modern Warfare grow, get some DLC, some more content out, and make it a really big game. Like Lance brought up, like Battlefield 1. I loved Battlefield 1. I'm perfectly fine that they made it like years after 4, like years. Like that's what made it so good.
It was the next big Battlefield game. I mean, I don't really count Battlefield Hardline as like a Battlefield game because it didn't have that kind of aspect of like World War. But going from Battlefield 4 to Battlefield 5, it was like 5 years. And like it felt like they took their time and actually like put in the work to make it a really good game.
And it shows. It literally shows. The game is great, you know?
I mean, Battlefield Hardline even has like a 5-star review. People like that game, but it just my cup of tea.
Well, and the other thing is they did something that no other game has ever done. They went to World War One instead of like jumping right straight to World War Two. Like, yeah, it's the most popular war. It's like, yeah, but what about the stuff that happened prior to that?
Exactly.
And that was actually better to me as far as gameplay. I loved the weaponry. I loved the maps. And I think that was better in World War II. That's just me. I mean,
oh yeah,
expansive and huge. It just feels like you could get lost if you went in the wrong direction. Which I like about it because you have no clue what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well, and even that, I actually played the campaign for Battlefield 1, and it was wow, like it was so good.
Yeah. They make really good campaigns too. Like they're solid on both fronts.
Like I will definitely say, like I felt like the very first campaign mission you play where you're jumping back and forth between all these people getting killed, and then you get to the next one and you're just in this tank and you're defending this tank. It was probably my favorite mission of them all.
Yeah, I know exactly the one you're talking about too.
Like Through Mud and Blood, I think it's called.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
like that's what makes Battlefield almost better than Call of Duty. Because I have a buddy. He would literally defend Battlefield. I'm like, no, Call of Duty is so much better. Then he invited me over one night. I picked up the controller, played Battlefield 1. I'm like, oh my God, this is a good game. Like, wow.
It gets so intense too because there's so many people in lobbies. Like you can get, I think it's 32 people on a team to like 64 people on a team. and it's just pure chaos, and it literally embodies what like World War One was.
Yeah, exactly. We're like all these Call of Duty games, like it's just basically run and gun. Where like the other one, you have to defend and you have to like scope people out and drop bombs and do all these other actual
Yeah.
war-based real life things. Where
Like
like COD,
even
it's just run, slide, shoot the guy, and all of a sudden that's it. It's like, oh, okay.
yeah, it's like even the weaponry was balanced enough to where it wasn't insane. Like the snipers, I feel like they were all balanced. Like the physics and how everything worked just ran smoothly, and I feel like that's what actually made it a good game because you have so many glitches and bugs in Call of Duty, but you don't really find a whole lot in Battlefield.
Yeah, I feel like with Battlefield, like Dice, they take a lot more time to actually like make their game good, make their engines run better. Even though they're the same company that also made
Yeah.
the Battlefront, and obviously we all know how that goes.
Well, like I'm gonna bring it up again because like I think like since we're talking about how long it takes in between each game, like GTA. Well, okay, so Lance and I we play GTA quite a bit, but like literally, if they announced a new GTA tomorrow, me and Lance would be ready for it because like we've had let me see
I
7 years to
it was
play.
7 years in September. And this September will be 7 years since GTA came.
It's yeah, and that's why people are like going off on the internet like we're ready for it because we actually are. Like, could you imagine if GTA 5 came out, we were having as much fun as we are now, and then the next year they're like, "Yep, we've got another one coming out," and then they started, and then one of them sucked because it was in space, and then everything just went haywire. Like literally, that's just what happens. I'm telling
I
you
feel
that. I
like
think that's what they've done wrong too.
I feel like GTA has literally added in different like miniature games within the online mode with how many like how big the updates are and all the different things you can do. I feel like they just kept the
Yeah.
flow going, just building up the hype. Because they like I feel like this is the first time I've actually had some like people go like, when is it going to come out? Because we're so ready for GTA 6. Like it's going to be good because they've had 7 years to work on it.
Yeah, and look, man, like literally, I go to that casino every day because I don't have a problem with it. I play with you, and what Modern Warfare could have done is do what they're doing and like implement new stuff into Modern Warfare. Like they're like, if you want to go to space, go into space mode, but you can still enjoy the rest of the game. And like instead, they're putting out all these separate titles, and they are doing a little bit of bandwagon. Because to be quite honest, I wasn't really into the battle royale in Black Ops 4. I mean, I know some people did, but like I thought that was a little bit unnecessary. But you know, everybody's different.
I mean, I'm looking
Yeah,
at
Right.
it doesn't even say it'll come out until like August of this year. And
Yeah, look, man. I mean, that's gonna be quick.
that's a maybe. Nope.
yeah.
it
See,
never-
I'm not really big into like the what is it, like the battle royale games. Like I don't know, they're not
Yeah.
my cup of tea. I tried Fortnite. That's whew.
Well, I mean, I've gone to Apex Legends like this past week, and I mean, I like it so much better than Fortnite.
See, I played Apex for a little bit, and I don't know what it is. It's just like playing like the battle royale games. It doesn't do it for me for whatever reason.
It's not for everybody. It's literally set to a certain demographic.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
like Evan, you like Fortnite. I think it just looks too like cartoony for me, I guess maybe is the thing. I mean, I don't know if that's the inner old man coming out of me or what it is, but
No, that's a great argument. Honestly, that's actually you are not the only one to tell me that. They're like it's too cartoonish, and I'm like that's fine because look now, games like Call of Duty and PUBG, they're putting a more realistic battle royale out for us, and it's good. So I mean, but listen, I mean, yeah, these games definitely not for everybody. So when we were talking earlier about how, well, at least, it's not a bad time for video games. There's a lot of variety. We can play online. We can do campaign. Like, literally, there's so much options. You almost can't. Like, it's not the day and age where it's like, oh, man, I don't like Fortnite. What else am I supposed to play?
Well, exactly. There's, 3 or 4 other Battle Royale games to play?
That's true. Yeah.
You have the Black Ops 4 Blackout one. Didn't Battlefield 5 come out with one? Then you have like the rip-offs of Fortnite, like Realm Royale.
Yeah, like PUBG, Apex, H1Z1. They came out with another one too called like the Darwin Project or something, I guess.
I think I know. I think I've heard about that.
So my buddy, he's been playing that. And he's not big into Battle Royale games either, but he says that one's actually like pretty fun.
Yeah.
Minecraft Hunger Games. I mean,
yeah, I remember that one.
Oof.
Yeah, we can at least say it made an impact, because if Minecraft is making their own Battle Royale, then dear God, what's next? I'm telling you.
I'm going to let you two man the podcast for a little bit. I got to take a quick little break here and go to the bathroom. So,
okay, man, got you.
You guys keep it going.
I'm not used to this. Okay, Evan. So,
Did you
what's our next?
This is my podcast now. No. I'm the host here.
I know. What's the next topic?
Yeah, since you're the guest, shut up. Let me talk. The next topic is why DerechoGaming might be the best YouTube channel today, and I don't think that's true.
It's not.
What? What's the problem?
It's not.
I mean, I guess you can have your own opinion, but I mean, it's better than
I think
Gamers Associated.
I think we should go back to open world games and the effect it had on our emotions.
Okay, so what were you thinking about that?
I was thinking, I'm still stuck on God of War. I know it's hard to believe that I've played through that thing entirely 7 to 8 times, but once you get once you start it, it's like you can't put it down. 'Cause the image, the emotion you feel, you just get trapped into it. I mean, even the soundtrack, the first music I heard on that, my jaw dropped, and I didn't play for a good 5 minutes because I was still trying to metabolize the effect that it just. Oh, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. Well, see, that's great though, man, because literally any kind of game that can manipulate your mind into, 1, playing it all day, 2, letting the music get to your feels. I mean, dang. I mean, that's better than a movie.
It really is. I felt like God of War has been better than so many movies that came out that year that they should have just made that a movie.
Yeah, we were talking about Spider-Man, and we were like, man, this new Spider-Man game, I don't know if you've played it, yeah, it's almost better than most of the Spider-Man movies that have come out, and I'm like, how? Because it's I can't believe it, because we're playing the game, we control Peter Parker, but the cutscenes and the music, they make it feel like I'm inside of a movie, and it's awesome, literally.
And I like the way they incorporate everything to run smoothly. It doesn't feel like everything's all choppy and spaced out. It feels like you go from one mission, and then you have the cutscene that explains everything and what's about to happen, and then you have side missions and smaller missions that lead up into the big main event that's gonna happen. And there's multiple of them. It's not one final boss. It's you get the every single one that he's ever fought before.
Yeah, I remember he was talking about Arkham Knight and Arkham City, those old Batman games, and they're good, and they feel like movies, but he was talking about Okay, so they feel like movies, but like you know how you just said it flows well?
Yeah.
Like Batman, those old games, they used to have like big loading screens in between
Oh yeah.
each either fight and stuff. And like in Spider-Man, it's just smooth sailing and it feels like literally like a movie.
They're the cutscenes. While you're watching the cutscene, they're loading in everything next.
Yeah, and that's what's awesome.
Well, then again, like Spider-Man's a newer game. Those Batman games came out a while ago. They didn't really have that kind of ability yet. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's all, and we were talking about that too. Like advancements, I feel like in 5 years things are gonna get kind of scary.
Oh, tell me about it. Like holographic video
Ooh.
games playing out on your desk.
Yeah.
Man, you guys are pretty good at this.
Yeah, man. We've been going off about these games, I'm telling you.
I know. I was listening to it, and I'm like, man, Evan, you need to start your own podcast, man. You do a real good job.
Thank you. I'm thinking about it. I like this StreamYard setup. It's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, man, you both could freaking talk about games forever or whatever. Like,
I've played so many.
I hope.
Yeah.
like I heard Lance talking about God of War again. I'm like, yes. Oh, I like this guy already. I don't even know him, but I like him. Oh, dude,
Lance
I
is
love God of
great.
War.
I'm glad he's in here. I'm glad he's in here because, like,
Any of the God of War games before this newest God of War, but it makes me want to go back and get like the PS2 and PS3 and just play them all through and just like feel the how it all connects, you know?
Oh yeah, because I replayed right before this game came out. I replayed through God of War 3 again, so I could just kind of like get into the feel again. And dude, it's such an experience.
Even in this latest God of War, they literally set up the entire plot for the next one in the ending with Thor just spoiler alert, but Thor just popping out right in front of their house. I feel like they could push the plot for like the next two using like Norse mythology, because I feel like there's so many things they didn't use for a reason.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, they could even like there's so many different mythologies that they could go to. I feel like they could have a franchise for a while. Like I feel they have like Egyptian.
I would love that. The Egyptian mythology is like my favorite.
Like I've learned so many things throughout their games. Like just God of War. Like I didn't play them, you know, so I watched through like all the cutscenes and like how he became the one, like the person he is now. And you learn so many things about like stuff you didn't know before. It's
Well, look, I mean, I can tell you, I've learned so much about space after playing Infinite Warfare, and no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Really?
Outer space is really fascinating.
Man, it's real wide open.
Awkward silence.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, no, 'cause you just don't know what to talk about. You feel like you've talked about everything, and something comes into your mind. It's like, and then you can talk about that for like 15 more minutes. You know what makes me mad? Just okay, so I'm looking at my PlayStation, pay to win games. Oh, those tick me off.
Oh yeah, those are kind of
Like,
ridiculous.
I'm looking at Madden 20, and I just shouldn't think about all of the people who have spent hundreds of dollars, and it just makes me mad because it's like, I don't have that kind of money. I gotta actually like grind and be good at this. Speaking of like GTA, you spend hundreds of dollars to buy in-game money to.
Yeah, but see, the good news is they're not putting out the 6th one next year. So now I'm not like, oh man, my $200 I put towards shark cards are now wasted. Like,
I mean, didn't they just announce like the season 2 of Modern Warfare?
I think so. Yeah.
With a new one like later.
Yeah. So what is there going to be? Like 6 seasons total?
Maybe not even that. I'm like maybe 4. Like honestly, like the way they're putting out games,
Yeah.
they just need to take a break, work on it, listen to the community, and actually make a game that like can carry on for years, like GTA did.
Oh yeah, like
I
you
can
guys
tell
have
you
been
one
saying
thing.
that's a 7-year-old game,
Yeah,
and there's
2013.
and there's still what millions of people playing it.
They just came out with new DLC
Yeah.
earlier this year.
Oh my god!
And Lance and I play every day. We grind like whenever we can. We are always on there making money. And like literally 7 years, in 3 years, it'll be 10 years old. And me and him are still going crazy along with like millions of others. So that's the thing. Like, I can't, and they might not even make GTA 6 for a couple of more years. So it could be a 10-year gap.
I'd be fine with that.
Me too. See, in Modern Warfare, say they said the next Call of Duty is going to come out in 6 years. I'd be fine with that because they could still build on top of it, and it's a good game. Like they've finally made something that's kind of state of the art.
Yeah.
See, like if they said, you know, World War II is going to be the last one for a few years, I'd be like, come on, man, like what? Why? But see, this one's like seems and feels long lasting. So it really upset me when they announced that there's going to be a new one coming out literally later this year, maybe.
Like, don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed playing the past Call of Duties, but this is the only one I feel like I'm gonna go home and play this as soon as I get off work. Like, it's the only one that I just want to come home and play.
Wait, you're at work right now?
No, I'm not.
Oh, I was like, Lance, were you in the bathroom?
I'm on a computer in the bathroom, just chilling.
I was like, Lance, I don't know how you're doing this, but
I'd probably get fired, honestly.
Be like, who are you talking to in there?
You
Nothing.
think?
Just talking to myself. Just motivating myself in here. Like that kid.
I was talking to myself. I love Call of Duty.
Okay,
Like that kid in the vine. Come on, get out!
how long did it take them to release Red Dead Redemption 2 from Red Dead 1? I feel like it was like a century. Not a century, wow. A decade. 10 years.
It's like a century, man.
It does. But I mean, even I feel like they could have added so much more into that game that just they completely missed so much potential.
Listen,
I mean,
I grew up playing the original like Red Dead Revolver. That was a good game. That was a great game. I don't know if either one of you played it.
I played a little bit of it, but then again, I was young back then, so I didn't really get the full
Experience.
experience of it. But this one, I feel like they had so much more untapped potential that they could have done. It just feels like an underappreciated. Like they didn't really care much about this game. They just wanted to put it out. At least for the content wise. Like
Yeah.
it looks amazing. Like the graphics are insane, and it has a good campaign. But when it came to online, they just like kind of pushed it aside.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't played any of the Red Dead Revolver games or Redemption or any of those.
Yeah.
I've seen gameplay. It looks fantastic. I just haven't. I know Lance likes it, but like I haven't played it yet. But it looks really fun.
Oh, I've had people swear like up and down like it's up there with some of like the greatest games made, or even some of the best games made of like the last couple of years at least.
Its campaign is up there, but the entire game as a whole, it's not. Like the online is.
Hey, that's exactly what I'm saying. If it was separate, it would be up as the greatest game of all time up there. But now that it's together, it dumbs it down.
Didn't it get Game of the Year in like 2018?
I think it did. I think so.
And that's before they released the online. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Didn't that game just come out last year though?
Was it 2018 or 2019? I feel like it was 2018.
I could have swore it was 2019 because I know like that that was up there for like game of the year, and there were a few other games too, like Resident Evil 2 was up there, and
October 26, 2018.
oh,
So it was near the end of the year.
Yeah.
shows how much I know.
What is it rated? I mean, 96% of people like it. It's only rated a 6 out of 10, though.
That's kind of sad.
I feel like most of that has to do with the online mode. I feel like Rockstar put more of their attention towards GTA. In my opinion, when they were
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, literally, I was playing GTA a few months ago, and I literally picked up a stone hatchet, and it goes, "Yeah, if you kill 100 civilians with this stone hatchet, you'll get it unlocked for free." And Red Dead 2, and I was like, "Whoa, you guys are really committed."
they're trying to get the demographic who are all obsessed with GTA to move over to Red Dead because it didn't sell as much as GTA did. But then again, it hasn't been out for as long. But at the same time, I just feel like it just didn't do as good as GTA did in its first couple years.
Yeah, but listen, like, what did you expect? Because, like, as fun as the game is, like, literally, like, what sounds more appealing, like, heist or Western? Like, naturally, most people are going to pick the heist over it. And, like, look, a lot of people tell me that they think Red Dead's better. But, like, look, I mean, the fact that they even expected Red Dead to be bigger than GTA, I don't really think that was that smart on their part.
Well, I mean, GTA is still, like, the double money events. Like, they're doing everything to get people to play. And people are enjoying the stuff they're doing, too. Like,
Oh,
the
yeah,
events,
everybody's
double money
playing.
and double XP, the discounts you can get, introducing, like, Twitch Prime benefits, that kind of stuff. Like, they're actually putting in the work to make this a really good game.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
the campaign's good, too.
So, Lance, since you joined in late, I guess I'll have you answer a couple of these questions.
Okay.
What's your most anticipated game for this year?
For this year, I haven't really looked at a lot of them for coming out this year. And to be honest, I've just been focused on the games I have now.
Okay. And then, what's your favorite video game and video game series?
Okay, so don't make fun
Oh,
of me.
no.
Yeah, I was about to say he's laughing. Like, okay.
So
I know.
it was either 2006 or 2009 when it came out. So I was like 7, like 8 years old, and Viva Pinata on the Xbox 360
Oh my god!
was my game. Like, you don't understand how many hours I put into that game. But my
Viva Pinata. That was not what I was expecting.
It's only fair. He was just a boy. He was just a boy.
But my favorite series is definitely the Battlefield series.
Okay, that's definitely an upgrade from Viva Pinata.
That seems fair there, yeah.
I mean, you know, whatever, man. If that's your game, like, you do you, buddy. You do you.
Like, my sister's boyfriend gave me his Xbox 360, and I got it. It's on this Xbox 360 right now.
Oh my god.
That's literally like me saying my favorite game, Splatoon. Like,
oh my god!
It's just how I feel.
But at least it's not one of those like, my favorite game was Black Ops 4.
Yeah,
like,
at least it meant a lot to you.
Yeah. But I mean, if I had to pick a favorite game it'd probably be Battlefield 4 or Battlefield 3.
Okay. And then last question, what got you into video games?
So,
did you have like a fetish with pinatas or something? Like,
no. So my dad used to play a lot of video games, and I feel like my dad and uncle did, and what really got me into video games was playing Halo with my uncle. Like, that's what really got me like, yo, this is actually kind of fun. Are there more games like this? And so it just kind of opened the door to where That's all I do anymore, honestly. Just to see the different genres and like realities that video games can impact and like come up with, you know?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like who thought of a game where you're literally a criminal and all you do is rob banks, steal cars and kill people?
Yeah, it's like we were talking about earlier. Like it's literally like a movie, and it's awesome
Yeah.
that they like put us in it.
It reminds me of Fast and Furious, honestly. If I'm being honest.
Oh boy, Fast and Furious.
They're coming out with a ninth one.
Dude, the
seventh.
trailer makes it look so bad. So bad.
They should have ended the seventh at the seventh.
Like, I don't even know how I really feel about the franchise anymore. Like the first few were okay. They weren't bad, but now they're like driving tanks and robbing trains and doing this. And like the new one,
Yeah.
Dom somehow hooks this like anchor or this rope underneath his car, and he's like swinging on this rope like he's freaking Tarzan inside of a car. Like, what in the hell happened to this franchise? It was just about fast cars, like robbing things. Now they're doing these huge heists and fighting these like superhuman people. Like, what the hell happened to just?
I don't know. I have no answers.
Like, it's see, that is like the best example I can give when it comes to like COD. It's like these movie franchises that just keep pumping out movies to just like keep the rights or just to like keep it going. Like
exactly.
Like the Saw movie.
It's cash grab. Yeah.
You want to know?
Exactly.
If I was to make a comparison between game popularity and movie popularity, Battlefield and the Rocky movies.
Oh yeah.
Because they spaced them out long enough to where you wanted the next one to come out, and they're good too. Like they have that one that's like, but the rest of them like are extremely good.
Coincidentally, the best one's number 4, just like Rocky.
Oh, and even just like God, what's another movie franchise? I was literally just it like the kind of like the MCU. You know, you're gonna have like your hits and misses, but it's like you're gonna also have them like spectacular films like of Infinity War and Endgame and all those.
The first Avengers that literally paved the way.
Then you're gonna end up having your duds like Captain Marvel and Thor and Hulk, and it's like, okay,
yeah,
like that's just like my best way to like really even describe Call of Duty. Like even releasing them, like because they release like what, at least 2 movies a year.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think except for this year. I think this year is only 2, so thank God.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, even with the MCU movies, the duds still added on to like the final picture. Like you had certain aspects like Age of Ultron. You had like dang, what was it called? Like the evil, the Scarlet Witch. She was a bad guy. And now she's a good guy fighting the end game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the bad ones, they kept it flowing to where it eventually ended really good. Like they had hidden gems. So I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there any other video game topics anybody wants to talk about or bring up?
Hold on, let me look through my library.
You got
Let me look through my library.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, I got a playlist set here with like 20 different things on, but
There's Ark. That's a good game. Like, I just love the different variety of games. Like, I have Ark Survival Evolved, and you scroll down, there's Bloons Tower Defense 5. Like, what? Like, what are the chances? And then there's DayZ, and then, like, Fallout. No, I guess that's kind of the same. Not really, but DayZ, and then, like,
what's your guys' take? I guess I didn't even think about asking you guys about this at all. Like it just popped into my head. What is your guys' takes on VR games?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I have my opinion. First of all, I think they're fantastic. I think that it's super next gen, and to be quite honest, it's something I didn't even expect coming. Like when they first came out, I was like, "Oh, damn, this is crazy." And when you were talking earlier about like Resident Evil on VR, like come on, man, you can't top that. And like, and the fact that like most amusement parks I've noticed they've installed like VR sections where people can just do VR gaming, and I'm like, man, like it's the most next gen thing I've ever seen. And if it gets beyond that, I'm gonna freak out because like that. I mean, literally, you're in the game. But I always laugh because like it makes me think of those memes where they're like, when your parents tell you not to get too close to the TV back in like the 80s and 90s, and then now we've just got them like pressed up on our face.
Yeah, they're literally
walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way I feel about VR games, like they definitely took the perspective to a whole different level, but I feel like the game quality is still the same. Like you have some that are extremely good that you can literally vibe with. You have the multiplayer games that are really good, but then you have the ones that are just toxic multiplayer, like chats and stuff like that. And you have
sometimes the graphics are a little bit less good than they were than on your TV.
Yeah, like it just depends, honestly. Like don't get me wrong, I'll play a VR game, but I don't know. It just has to have. I mean, I was gonna say everything I'm looking for, but I guess that's kind of like a generic answer.
Well, see, like it's just like we've been talking about a lot here on this podcast is like immersion, like not like literal immersion, but like you're literally like just sucked into like the game with how good it is. Because I've got a few games like that. Like I bought Titanic in VR because I thought maybe you were gonna be like running around the ship and stuff. No, you're inside of this little ship and you're just going in. You're just getting these artifacts and cleaning them off, and then you're just doing that for like a hour.
That is so stupid. Oh no.
Dude, my heart shattered when I first picked that up because I was like, "Oh, this might be cool," and then, oh my god, why did I do this to myself?
Terrible financial investment.
Yeah.
Some games that don't become good until you have people to play them with.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking through my games and like Ark Survival. When I first got it, I was hooked into that thing, single player all the way. And then Friends got, then I realized, oh my god, it literally changed the entire way you play the game. And I hate playing single player now because it's just so much more fun having the little funny moments and like serious moments with friends. Like even coming back to like DayZ, I hate playing that by myself. Hate it.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain games I feel like even online games that some people can like play by themselves, but then you got just also them certain games where it's like, okay, I need somebody with me here, or I'm never going to get through this.
And then there's just online games that should never have been created, like Fallout 76. You know my honest opinion.
Yeah, well, especially too when like they had a long time to make that over
Yeah.
like Fallout 4. Like I got a buddy, he swears up and down Fallout 4 is like God's gift to gaming. Like, dude, he swears up and down like this game is just amazing. And like I haven't played it. Like I always see it's on sale all the time on the PlayStation Store, but I don't know. It's just I don't think it's gonna be my cup of tea, unfortunately.
I got it when it was $12, and I played like the first like couple missions. Like I was into it. Like I'd watch videos and stuff because I didn't have it. I was like, this actually looks a whole lot of fun. And then you get into it, and it's just like I feel like it because you have to walk everywhere, and it just takes forever to do everything.
Yeah, that was one of the big complaints I heard about that game for sure.
It's so. It feels like they pushed it to be longer than it was supposed to be.
Because I guess I don't even know. Is that like more online playing too, or
No, it's strictly single player.
Hmm.
And so you're literally just walking around a map by yourself, and it just gets boring. You're just like, why did I do this?
why did I put myself through this hell?
Yeah, exactly. I just want to talk about how realistic some of the games like nowadays have gotten. Like Rainbow Six Siege. Like I feel like I have to actually be tactical and silent playing that game.
Me and him were talking earlier about footsteps and how they can really scare you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, okay, this is only Manhunt, Evan.
Oh
I
no.
was on FaceTime with my girlfriend and streaming. I literally stopped talking for 15 minutes, and I was literally whispering to my girlfriend like everybody else could hear me.
Yeah, and like literally, it's terrifying because like if you hear one footstep, you basically shit a brick, and then if someone shoots, you're like, oh my god, like it literally jump scares you like a movie.
It's all quiet. You hear your little pitter patter of steps, and then in the distance, bang, and a bullet lands right next to your feet. You honestly start crying, and you just leave the room.
And
Yeah.
that's enough for me for the day.
Exactly. And it got better when we got more people into it, and we started doing like team kind of stuff where you had to really like you had somebody watching your back, like you felt more at ease, and then your teammate just drops after you guys talking, and it's like, what just happened? Like, it's honestly terrifying because you can have such a good experience, and then one thing happens, and it's just you're terrified. You have no clue what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Well, I guess like you brought up earlier, you were talking about Ark. I've got a buddy like I know that's online too, but like it seems like everybody can kind of like make like a house together or their own little base or whatever, and it's like you literally depend on that one person to be there. Like if you just hopped in by yourself, it probably wouldn't end up panning out well for you, maybe, but
exactly. Because, I mean, you can do it by yourself, but it's a lot more dangerous. It's like, it doesn't get done as fast, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But you get that buddy in there or that group of friends, and you just grind that out. You have a good time. You're laughing. You're having fun. And, like, one bad thing happens, you have, like, 3 of your closest buddies back there to help you get back up to where you were. Like, you don't have to restart completely, and, like, you don't get ticked off or anything. Because you can choose to play online with like I want to say like 20 other people, or you can have your own private one with just your friends. So I mean, I recommend it. Like that game, I watched so many of it on like Steam when they played it on like computers and stuff. I watched complete like 150 long series because that's how long it takes. There's so much to do in that game. Like you can make like 200 episodes. And as soon as it came out on PlayStation, I got it the week it came out.
Yeah, that's definitely some good content though.
Yeah, Evan, you should really get it.
I will. I'm gonna do it.
Go look how I think when I got it, it was 55, but I don't think it's that much anymore.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
Like, I've only gotten 33% of the trophies, and I've had it since it came out. Because they add DLCs too. Like, there's different maps. I want to say there's like 6 different maps you can choose to play on, and each map has some of the same dinosaurs, but it adds its own little like variety. Because there's some maps where there's dragons that you can like steal eggs from and raise them up, and then there's some maps where you're literally in a desert and there's like giant camels that don't need water, or like freaking lizards that shoot spikes at you. And then there's ones that you're like in an abandoned city, like world kind of, and there's like robotic, like futuristic, and all, like it fits. Like everything they add in fits to that certain criteria.
Right.
And it just feels like you're in the game, and every little jump scare it makes me jump. Like you ever just been chilling and you just hear a T-Rex roar like right next to you, and then you turn around, there's just like 3 of them after you.
It happens. It happens.
Awful. It's awful.
Yeah, like I said, I've always just seen people playing that game. I've just never actually sat down and really played it. I guess my look on it, I just look like I might not like it.
I'm downloading it back as we're talking. I don't have enough room, so I'm gonna have to delete something.
Gotta get a 4 terabyte external hard drive like I got, man.
I'm broke. Actually, no, I'm not.
I got like 19 games downloaded right now, and I think I only play like 4 of them.
Listen, I have 4 games right now. I probably don't have enough. Oh, nope, not enough space.
Yeah, that's also the other crappy part about like the newer systems, like all these games and their updates and everything. And then it's like, well, now I don't really have room for this. Now I got to think of what game I need to get rid of to play it.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, I was going to get Battlefront 2 back. I couldn't do it because there was not enough space. Then I deleted something else for it that I actually enjoyed playing. It still didn't have enough space. And I was like, oh, goodness, I'm literally killing my games just for this.
Like,
and I was still no room.
Modern Warfare is 148 gigs, and Grand Theft Auto is literally 80.
I know. How does that even make sense?
I have no clue. I don't understand what's so big in that game that it takes up 150 gigabytes. I mean,
I have GTA Online. I couldn't even tell you the last time I probably actually sat down and played it. No, I think I probably played it when the casino first came out.
That's a game I feel like you need to have like your friends in. Like, I just feel like you can't do it by yourself.
Yeah, because like every time I log in, like I'll literally try to like run and go pick up my car or something, and literally, like as soon as I'm at my car, all of a sudden I just get ran over or shot. It's like, oh,
listen,
why do people gotta be douchebags?
Do I need? That's kind of taking me off.
Well, guys, we've been going pretty good here. We're at 2 hours and 43 minutes already on this podcast. This is definitely the longest podcast I have done. I think my longest one before that, an hour and 15 minutes.
There we go.
So, anybody got any final comments? 'Cause I think we're probably going to end the podcast here.
I just hate how big games get. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Right.
Honestly, I think my closing comment, games are fantastic now graphically. We've got a lot of great stuff to play, but they're too damn big.
Like, I have 4 games, and I still need to find a way to get 9 gigabytes. Like, my smallest,
Yeah.
my smallest right now is 50 gigabytes.
Do you have pictures saved or anything?
I deleted all of them already.
That's usually what I had to do before I got my hard drive, was delete all my pictures and videos and stuff.
I'm gonna delete Madden.
So anyway, you guys, that is probably going to do it here for the podcast. I do want to thank Evan and Lance for both showing up. I linked both their channels down in the description below, so make sure you guys head on over, check them out, subscribe, make sure you let them know SPC send you.
Evan.
Yeah, man. Listen, it was a good time. Had a great time. Definitely bring me back. Are we streaming? Of course we are. When do we not?
We're streaming tonight, so I mean, get ready for that.
Well, definitely, hopefully be in there to chat up with you guys some more. So yeah, guys.
Oh yeah, man.
Anyway,
well, listen, thank you again.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, send some love your way.
Oh yeah, fun. Thank you.
So I'll definitely bring you both back. I've enjoyed this last hour for sure. I like getting other people's perspectives on things instead of just like my own.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's the thing I noticed about doing a podcast by myself is there's only so many things I can talk about and repeat myself with before I get bored of myself.
You have to have those different point of views and perspectives to really get an understanding.
Exactly. So anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of the Midwest Cantina podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Check out DerechoGaming and Young Gamers Association. And with that being said, like,
comment,
subscribe. See ya.